Good Sunday morning to everyone who is not named Zach Wilson. RIP, the Zach Wilson Project in New York. But
Well,
AG,
RIP the Zach Wilson unders. That's the more important part.
right?
All good soldiers, we have to watch them fall eventually, and
That's
we
right.
must move on in the war, and we'll make money other ways. But RIP to the Zach Wilson unders. We had a long, very profitable money making run with them. But it looks like it's going to be over for at least a couple weeks. I'm not
Mhm.
sure that Mike White is necessarily their answer. We might see Zach Wilson again this season. We'll see. I think he kind of lost the locker room with those comments, and that's
Yeah,
really what did it. But
yeah,
and he said Folger, those unders were nice to us, but I'm sure we can play some Mike White unders eventually anyway. So I'm not. It's not like it's too much of a hit we're taking here. Real quick,
no,
shout
no,
out to
for
my
sure.
boy Tom in the chat. He said, he was hitting me up for some touchdown lays. We're gonna get to that in a second here.
Hmm.
So I was running the numbers, and look, we had an amazing 36 and 14 run with straight up player props a couple
Hmm.
weeks ago, and man, it was beautiful. But in the past 2-3 weeks, it has gone cold. And I said it when we were on that 36 and 14 run. I said now is not the time to be tailing me on these straights because I'm due for some regression here.
Right.
So I just wanted to let everybody know this stream is going to be a little bit different than the other Sunday streams where I'm calling out a couple straights and a couple plays I like throughout all the games. What me and
Hmm.
Chad are going to do today is we're still going to go through all the games and talk through them, but we're just going to keep a little tally and keep a little note of players that we're going to circle back to and build some parlays with that we think are going to have good games. Just because
Hmm.
the straight swell has run dry for the past 2 weeks. Not that obviously we're still up 47 units. We're up 13 units on this week 12 already. So we're just going to add to that today with some parlays. What I'm getting at is that I'm not going to play as many straights. There's still going to be a couple, but they have gone cold a little bit. So until they get hot again, we're just going to mellow out on them. It's the smart thing to do. You never want to chase and just force bets just because you think you know what's going on in these games. Obviously, I do. I'm hitting these parlays and things like that. But yeah, I just
Yeah.
wanted to let everybody know so that they're not alarmed when there's no picks coming from every single game.
No word, and so one of the things with the straights is first you're typically eating some juice,
Right.
which eats away at your units really fast. The second thing is we're at that point where you and I were talking about this right before we came on the air that we I've talked about this before that the NFL tends to go in like 3 or 4 acts, and we are entering the third act as we speak, where now you're starting to see injuries pile up. You're starting to see some guys who were backups, who were on practice squads, some guys who were out on the street, who have been promoted and are now getting starting looks or maybe backup looks, get sharing carries in backfields or maybe getting wide receiver looks on some teams. So it gets a little harder to read some of this stuff. And the other thing is when you're playing this stuff in a parlay game, now you can bring those thresholds much lower.
Yep.
Now we can go 25 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards instead of trying to hit some of these 70, 80, and 100 yard totals. And we can actually start looking at some of these people who are being promoted in these spots to get some better looks and some better bang for our buck.
Yeah. It's not like it's an indictment on our straight picks. Like obviously they're still
No,
profitable. It's not like those have gone under. They're still green
right.
in general. I just don't want to eat any of the units we have. So I'm gonna personally be chilling out on
Hmm.
it. But if you like some of the plays that we call in a parlay, definitely go ahead and run those straight if you don't want to
Hmm.
parlay it. Like, I'm just telling you what I'm gonna do personally
Right.
with the units that we're holding on to right now.
Right.
It's all profit, so I'm being careful.
Yes, absolutely. So, are we ready to get into it? I'm going to pull the big screen up here. And yes, if you're watching this on your big screen TV, you'll be able to see this stuff much easier than if you're watching it on your phone. But what we like to do, as you know, is we like to go through and pull this stuff up on the screen so you can actually see as we go through the games. And let's get into this first one: Baltimore at Jacksonville. Uh, Mark Andrews is back, so there's the Isaiah Likely project kind of goes by the wayside for a minute. He's hurt anyway, so you're going after Mark Andrews for a lot of those touches. There's a lot of other injuries in that receiving core for
Yeah,
Baltimore,
man,
and
Lamar, this might be like the low point of the Lamar has no weapons. You know what I mean? Like
right,
we've been saying that for a couple years, but this
right,
is like It's Mark Andrews or bust right now. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, obviously, you got to take a look at Mark Andrews because if they're going anywhere on offense, they're going with Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson. So it's definitely something we'll circle back with Mark Andrews,
Hmm.
I think. This is a little bit of a trap spot. How do you feel about this game, Chad? I know the Jags are, they're getting 4.5, or is it 3.5 now?
It
Looks like
says
three and
three
a
and a
half
half
now,
here
right? It
now.
was
Yeah.
four and a
Yeah.
half. It's 3.5 now at home.
Hmm.
Um, this Ravens team has not been super impressive. Now, look, they could be a 10-0 team right now with a couple different possessions. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
They're a couple key plays away from being 10-0. But the 7 and
Right.
3 hasn't looked too pretty either. That Panthers win 13-3. And like you say all the time, Chad, with the new phase of the season. This seems like it would be an interesting situation if the Jags win this game. They're still kind of fighting.
Hmm.
They got stuff to
Hmm.
play for, and the Ravens are beat up, like you said. Their defense is coming on strong though, so they're definitely one of the top 5 defenses the past couple of weeks. They were a little shaky to begin the season. But what do you think in terms of the sides here? Do you think the Jags have a chance here? I would stay away from taking the Ravens straight up personally.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a fan of taking the Ravens straight up. That and the 3.5 it just seems kind of
Well,
suspicious to me,
I
to
meant
be
on the
honest.
3.5. My bad. But the
Yeah.
straight up
But
still, there's no
right.
value. You're eating too much.
Yeah, you're
But
eating
yeah,
too much
I
juice,
meant
but
to say
even the
on
3.5.
the spread.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say the 3.5 makes me suspicious of them even straight up,
Right.
just because it's like, all right, so I don't typically do somebody must know something, line of thinking because I think that's a fool's errand, and I think people get caught up way too much in this. They think Vegas knows everything, and Vegas takes some big swings and misses all the time. What we have to realize is what are they trying to trick us into with some of this stuff, because it's not necessarily always going to be that this means take the Ravens because that's way too few points, but it also doesn't mean you got to jump on the Jags. I'm with you. This is an avoid game for me because this Jacksonville team has been kind of Jekyll and Hyde, and
Right.
they I'm not going to say that it's necessarily a home road thing, but they have, as Travis Etienne has started to come into his own and play better. They got rid of James Robinson, so you've got some potential there where like this young core is starting to like actually make a case for itself being the future going forward. And that defense is still athletic and talented. So, and yeah, when you have Baltimore suffering for weapons, I don't know. Lamar Jackson is one of those guys who he doesn't necessarily need for a bunch of guys to be getting incredible separation off the snap. A lot of his best work is done when the play breaks down and he's staying active behind the line of scrimmage and looking downfield, but the play is broken down and he's broken contain. So I could see him still making some big plays in the passing game. I'm kind of dead on most of this stuff here, except maybe I might give a look at Lamar Jackson walking a touchdown in at plus 195. That's not a bad look. But I'm probably going to just tinker a little bit with that. I wouldn't recommend this as an official for anybody.
I also have a Ravens touchdown score in one of the touchdown parlays that'll come on a little bit later here in the show.
Nice.
So, just to hint at that, but it sounds like we're talking an under here. Like that's what it kind of sounds like we're leaning
Yeah.
the way we lay it out because you mentioned the young pieces in Jacksonville on their offensive side of the ball. But are they ready to play against this Ravens defense and dominate
Hmm.
this and have long sustained drives against this Ravens defense the way they're playing the past couple weeks? I'm not sure if Trevor Lawrence is ready for that or Etienne even. I think they'll be able to have some success, but not a lot. And I don't think the Ravens will have a ton of success offensively.
Hmm.
We've kind of seen they're relying on their defense right now with all these injuries. The running back room's beat up, the wide receiver room's beat up, the tight end room's beat up. I'm nervous even to take Mark Andrews on something because how healthy even is he? Um,
Exactly. And we saw that this season where he tried to give it a go and he was
exactly.
done after like one touch.
And I
So
recommended taking the unders that day. I had a feeling
yeah.
that might happen. So
Hmm.
I should have did it as an official, but I
I don't
recommended it at
I
least.
don't I
But
don't think that's yeah, and I don't think we would recommend that today because I think he's getting
no,
to a
he's
point
gonna
now where
play today.
he's healthy enough
Yeah,
and he's gonna power through it. They don't it would have to take more than just a minor aggravation of an already pretty significant injury to
yeah. And then I guess Lamar
take him
Jackson
out.
in the running game is something to obviously consider right now.
Hmm.
Gus Edwards should be playing. He's questionable as of last night. He should be playing though, I think.
Yeah,
But
let me look because
but
I
he's
don't
banged
know.
up. I mean, the last
Hmm.
time he came back and he got hurt immediately.
Hmm.
There's a lot of variables in this game. So it's looking like a stay away from me.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. And my model has Baltimore winning this game by 9, but that's using data from a lot of much healthier Baltimore games,
Right,
um,
right.
and so I don't really even trust that. This
Yeah,
one,
Gus
this
is
one.
probable. Isaiah Likely's out. Duvernay's
Hmm.
questionable. Demarcus Robinson, who's been Lamar's go-to, is questionable. Lamar's probable. He's going to play. But they got another tight end
Yeah.
that's questionable. Like, it's the Mark Andrews or Kenyon Drake and Lamar Jackson show. But they weren't even really able to sustain anything against the Panthers defense last week. And the Panthers defense isn't bad. They're not bad at all.
Hmm.
I'm not
Hmm.
taking credit away from them. But this Jacksonville defense, they're not great either. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, I don't trust the Ravens offense right now.
Yeah, well, speaking of the Panthers, our next game up is this Denver Broncos Carolina Panthers game, and I was just kind of going through. I'm looking to see now that Melvin Gordon has been cut right after he cost us a huge touchdown
Mm-hmm.
parlay that would have
Yep.
been monster for Latavius Murray. Now Marlon Mack has been promoted and is going to be the backup to Latavius Murray. I don't see Marlon Mack numbers here. You see Murray's stuff here at only 60 yards, 60 and a half yards. I'm going to keep an eye on that because it is an early game. So it may be like at the very last minute that we get something on this. But I want to keep an eye on that because if, in fact, Marlon Mack, his numbers do show up here, I'm going to look at those to play with the overs on his numbers if it's something juicy in like the 18 to 20 range, because
Yeah,
I
we got to
actually
see if we even get one for him.
right,
Honestly,
right,
they might
right.
wait
That's
a
what I'm
week.
saying. Exactly. So
I
if we
do
can
agree
get
with it though. If we do get it, yeah.
hmm because what I'm hearing is he's going to get significant looks.
Yeah, and Murray's not the answer. I mean, he's just a little. He's on the older side. And Jim Coventry made a great point. He does a player props thread every week on like Wednesday or something like that.
Hmm.
I think on Twitter, and it's very very useful information just to read through. I don't usually like tail the pick straight up or anything, but it's just like it gives you an idea of how some of the games are going to go because he goes deep. But he was talking about Latavius Murray and how he's on the older side. The first two
Hmm.
weeks he was getting like 6 yards a pop. And the last couple of weeks, he's getting like 2, 3. Like, I mean, it might have wore off a little bit,
Hmm.
a longer season for a guy at that age. So, yeah, I think definitely feed Marlon Mack at that point. But we
Yeah.
don't have any
Well.
numbers. I feel like the books are going to wait. They don't want to get cooked on a Marlon Mack getting
Right.
the raise. You know what I mean? They know what they're doing. They're not going to give us a line for that. If they do, it's going to be right before game time, probably.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and I think the other thing too is that Latavius Murray drop off that we've seen in his productivity, in his efficiency as a running back, is probably why we saw unfortunately
Melvin Gordon.
Melvin
Yeah.
Gordon on the goal line last
Well,
week
and
and
here's the
cough it
other
up.
thing. Here's the other thing, right? Why wait on Marlon Mack to get the plays? We just talked about how
Hmm.
Carolina's defense isn't that great. We talked about how Murray's magic ran off a little bit, and that Marlon Mack is going to be. You're hearing that Marlon Mack's going to get a lot of volume today.
Hmm.
So our Marlon Mack bet, when the sports books aren't giving us a Marlon Mack line, right now our Marlon Mack bet is the under on Latavius Murray.
Yeah, see, that's the thing though. I feel better about the Marlon Mack over than I do about taking a
Right,
Murray under
obviously,
because
but is
Murray could still hit his over and Marlon Mack could hit his over,
what
and
would you
that's the
guess?
thing that concerns me.
What would you guess they would put Marlon Mack's number at?
I'm guessing it's going to be like that 18 and a half, 20 and a half, somewhere in that range.
So do
Maybe
you think
25.
and Latavius Murray's around 60, right?
Yeah, so you're looking at
So
a
you
team
think that
total.
they're gonna get 90 rushing yards on this team? The
Okay.
Broncos. We got to remember
Yeah.
who we're talking about here.
All
So
right,
it's
all
like
right, all right. Yeah.
I hear you, like
Yeah.
and I'm not saying take the under. I'm just saying that that's kind of what you're laying out, and
Okay.
that would be the bet to take if they never give us a Marlon Mack line. Because if Marlon Mack's going to get a good volume, Latavius Murray's not hitting 60
All right. All
unless he
right.
breaks one. But that's always the risk you're taking when you take an under. So I mean, it is what it is at that point. But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, why wait for
Okay.
Marlon Mack? You got something in your control. You're fading Latavius Murray, and that's why you like
Hmm.
Marlon Mack. That's just a good way to think about it, though. Is all I'm getting at.
All right. Yeah, I'll consider it. I'm not bought in yet though, because that's one that it'd be gross if it goes wrong, because I'm not even that thrilled about it. What I'm looking for is some sort of cheap money on this, where like they're way
No, 100%.
underestimating the Marlon Mack thing. I'm not
I
looking to
totally
pay.
agree with you that,
So,
yeah, getting a Marlon Mack line and hitting the over is the better option. Yeah, I was
yeah,
just throwing that thought process out there because if
gotcha.
you're taking Marlon Mack's over 20, 25, 30, then you're pretty much taking an under on Latavius Murray already,
Hmm.
just with less juice probably. So
Right.
I'm with you. Shout out to my boy Sean Sweeney though.
Let's
That's my
go.
homie from back home. He's
All
in here
right.
locked in. Let's get this money. We got a bunch of lays
What's up,
coming after
gentlemen?
we run through these games.
Yeah. So, you got anything else in this game that you're looking at? Cortland Sutton, maybe,
No,
for a
nah,
deep ball,
man.
or
No
no?
way I'm touching that Broncos offense, man. I don't care. And Cortland
I'm just
Sutton's
gonna look
been
at it.
kind of cold lately. I know Judy is out and everything, but
Yeah.
nah, there's nothing here, man. There's nothing on the Panthers side of the ball either that I'm touching. One thing I will say is the Panthers are like a classic, nice little teaser leg, I think, in this, if we're gonna do a
Yeah.
teaser at the end of this, that's definitely one we got to circle because they're getting 1.5 at home, and the Broncos are if the Broncos win, they ain't beating anybody by more than like 6 or 7. So we can tease that by 6 and get it at 7.5. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So that might be something to circle back at later. But
Yeah.
there's no way I'm touching props in that game, man. No way.
The dog catcher likes Carolina in this one, but I will say this is one of those ones where like the line is really tight and the model only picks Carolina to squeak this one by in a pick'em game. So
And
like I
Carolina, and it's picking Carolina based on Baker Mayfield and PJ Walker. We got Sam Darnold
right,
today.
right, true,
So
true.
I mean, I look, that's even more reason to go with the teaser. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I guess I
No,
trust Sam Darnold a little more than the other guys.
yeah, yeah. Well,
I want to see what he's got at least.
no, and I like the approach, because, and that's why I brought up the fact that that it's so tight, is because it's a perfect setup for making it part of a teaser instead of trying to chase that tight line. No, give yourself 4.5, 5, 6 points even, because you're already getting a point and a half. So take that extra 6 and give yourself a 7.5 point spread, and then you can add it to 5 or 6 other games and get some money on it. So here we go. We got now I have to ask you this because you're in a different spot this week. And we had talked about this, that you might have you might have some guests who are big Commanders fans, and they're rooting for the Commanders in this game.
Yeah, I'm down here in Commander Country
Do
actually
we
right now.
have
I'm
do we have
not too
guests?
far from where this game's going to be taking place in a couple hours here.
Hmm.
Yeah, he'll be he's on his way up, so we'll have him in a
Okay.
second. I like this game. I like this matchup here.
Well,
So one
yeah.
one straight that I am taking. It was on my
Okay.
show that I put out last night with the plus odds that I do every week. One straight I am taking is Terry McLaurin over 4.5 catches. It was at plus 124 last night, but I'm not sure. It probably went down. It's probably not even plus money anymore. Those are ones you got to kind of get in on.
4.5 over is minus 120 right now.
Yeah, see, I'm not backing it at 120, but hopefully you
Mm.
guys caught that show yesterday and were able to lock it in at plus money. So I'm going to keep that on the record because, look, I'm taking what I can get here. Sorry, guys. But should have been tuned in yesterday. Turn those notifications on, hit that subscribe button.
Hmm.
But yeah, I like Terry McLaurin a lot in this spot. Taylor Heineke loves throwing to Terry McLaurin. Curtis Samuel and
Hmm.
Jahan Dotson haven't been getting any action. Logan Thomas is beat up. What's up, Hunter? So this is my little cousin Hunter, everybody. Gotta get in the camera. Well, this is Summer too. She's an Eagles fan, though. We'll talk to her later. But
What's
so
up?
we're talking about the Commanders right now. Hold on, let me
Yeah, let me full screen you. Real quick. Here you
hold on. All right, now they can hear you too.
go. All right, there we go.
So we're talking about the Commanders. You think they're gonna beat the Falcons today?
Yeah,
How much? By how much? What's the score?
20-27.
20 to 27? 20 to 27, correct score. Go ahead and
Okay.
grab that.
All right.
Let's see what we got for 20 to 27 correct score, Chad.
So let me look here real
Who
quick.
do you think is going to score a touchdown for the Commanders?
Well, I have Scary Terry on my fantasy team.
Do you? I was just
There
talking
we
about
go.
Scary Terry. I was just saying he's going to have a big game, and I have him on my fantasy team too. So let's hope that's correct. I actually I had him scoring a touchdown too, so I'm glad you said Terry McLaurin. That's exactly where we were just going on this game.
Scary Terry, let's
Did he-
go. All
did he
right, so
have
he
the
says
27-20
by a
option?
touchdown. So you can you can even tease them down to 6.5, and
That's true.
according to Hunter, we're still winning. So
Maybe we'll add them to our teaser there for it.
it's some plus money.
Yeah, hell yeah.
No, shoot.
Hey, what else are you thinking of this game, Chad?
Well, I got Washington in this game as well. It's not a huge difference from what the actual spread is. The model suggests they would win by 4 rather than the 3.5. So not a huge difference there. So I'm looking more in the 24-20 or maybe 27-23 range, Hunter. But I like it. I like the look there. The over under is only 40.5. So if Hunter's right, we're hitting that over.
Yeah, that's true.
But I
think that might be a good play. I think that might be a good thought because I mean the thing is here about the over is, usually the Falcons like to run the ball, so that kills clock, sometimes kills some overs.
Mm-hmm.
But in this situation, man, it's hard to run the ball against the Commanders. The Eagles learned that a couple weeks ago, right, Summer?
Mm-hmm. You're trying to pour salt in the wound.
Yeah. But so that's the thing. That's the thing with the Commanders. You can't run on them. And is Chase Young coming back? He's back, right?
Yeah. Well, wait.
So,
actually, is he back? I thought they were talking about possibly holding him out one more week.
They might have. But if he's back, that even amplifies what I'm saying. So I do have Marcus Mariota over passing yards, surprisingly, in one of the parlays that's going to come up later. You wouldn't expect that from me, but I think that they're going to get stuffed in the run, and they're going to have to resort to passing the ball. And if they're resorting to passing the ball, I like the Commanders even more. So,
all right, yeah, I'm trying to pull up the RotoWire here. So we got, let me see, pull up the Commanders, the commies as we call them. No offense, Hunter. Chase Young will not play.
He's out. Yeah.
But it's with an illness now. So like I guess he came off IR to get sick and go back.
Nah, they just wanted
to the inactive list. I think that's what it was. They just they made something up for him to hold out one more week.
Yep.
So yeah, he is out. Logan Thomas is available. So they should be otherwise at pretty much full strength. And then they do have Carson Wentz ready to return, but we've already heard from Riverboat Ron that it's Taylor Heineke all the way. So,
and it should be. That's the best decision they made yet.
Absolutely.
I mean, they got a fat check they're gonna have to eat now, but they should have never handed that out in the first place.
Look, man, they do stuff. So I do want to check the weather real quick.
I'll check for you.
Are you looking out the window? Okay.
Nice. It's raining a little bit, but nothing too crazy.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of like how Atlanta performed when they were playing in the elements in Carolina.
No, check over there too, because we're a little bit away from the stadium. We're not that close, but
yeah. So you're in the VA.
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah, but I'm right outside DC.
Not far from DC though.
Yeah, but they don't play in DC anyway. They play over in Maryland, so we're a little bit of a ways away from them.
All right, so we got. Let's see, what are we looking at for? This is a noon game, so it looks like it's going to be cleared up by game time. Actually, maybe it might be still a little bit of rain before the game. Maybe like into the second quarter. So. Yeah, so just keep an eye on that because that's one thing I did notice. Mariota for whatever reason really, really struggled in Carolina when it was wet and raining. It was a night game, it was prime time, a little bit of a different atmosphere. But I think you could see something similar to that. So, so you got any props?
Well, I got some.
You like?
I do have some reasoning.
Terry?
Yeah, no, I do. Well, I do have some actual analysis behind Scary Terry, not just the fact that my little cousin and me are hoping for fantasy purposes, but with Terry or with Taylor Heineke, he's hit this number on the catches in 4 out of 5 games. He's probably hit the yards too, whatever he's set at in most of those games. He was only 6 and 11 before in total, so he was 2 for 6 with Wentz, 4 for 5 now with Heineke. He's averaging 8.6 targets, 5.6 catches in the 5 games with him. And the Falcons defense, they're horrible in the pass game. 29th in yards allowed, 28th in opponent completion percentage. And part of the reason that they're that bad in completion percentage is probably because they get no pressure. They're also 30th in sacks per game. Heineke's going to have a chance to be back there just nickel and diming it to clearly his favorite receiver, Terry McLaurin. Now, here's the thing, right? Versus the Falcons, I'm going to go through every single week versus the Falcons. Jarvis Landry, 7 catches. Michael Thomas, 5 catches. In the next game, Cooper Kupp 11, Tyler Higbee 7, Allen Robinson 4. The next game after that, Tyler Lockett 9, DK 5. Game after that, Peoples-Jones had 5, Njoku had 5. Game after that, Fournette had 10, Godwin had 6, Cade Otton had 6, Scotty Miller had 4, Mike Evans had 4. Those are right on the hook, obviously, those last two. Ayuk had 8, George Kittle had 8, Debo had 7, Tyler Boyd had 8, Jamar Chase had 8, T. Higgins had 5, Hayden Hurst had 6, DJ Moore had 6, Chenault had 5, Terrace Marshall had 4 all in the same game. The Chargers game, Josh Palmer had 8, DeAndre Carter had 5, Gerald Everett had 5, Michael Bandy had 5, and Austin Eckler had 7. DJ Moore had 4, and Darnell Mooney had 4 in the past 2 weeks. So the past 2 weeks were the only times that nobody's hit this, but it was the Bears and the Panthers. We're not really expecting anything in their passing games anyway. And even then, the Panthers put up 3 a couple weeks before that with 5 catches. So this is like teams nickel and dime them all season long. Taylor Heineke is going to be no different with Terry McLaurin here.
All right. And that is why, because you named so many instances where there were several receivers that put those numbers up against the Carolina Panthers, against the Atlanta Falcons defense. I am looking right here at your boy, Jahan Dotson, over 24.5 yards. And I'm also looking at this little play here, which I think is very attractive, which is Antonio Gibson over 72.5 total rushing and receiving yards. Because I think there's going to be plenty of wealth to be spread around. I do like Terry McLaurin in this game, but I actually like this to be like just an overall.
I agree with you there.
The Commanders open it up against them. And with that Antonio Gibson play, it doesn't have to all come in the passing game. But he's going to get his looks in the passing game. And I actually like a guy like him. I prefer – I know it's a little bit – the number's going to be a little higher. The bar is going to be a little harder to clear. But I prefer a guy like him going with the total, because then you don't get, because we've seen it too many times with our Aaron Jones stuff where you go after the receptions and he comes up a reception short because there's a couple of dump offs that they call laterals, or something crazy like that. The way that they utilize a weapon like that, I want to take advantage of all of the different ways that they utilize that weapon. Similar to what they used to do with Randall Cobb and what you've seen with so many, Deebo Samuel, you see, a lot with San Francisco, where I'm just going to take that guy being utilized as a weapon as an over and not worry about what facet of the game it comes in.
I hear you. Yeah, that's definitely a good way to play it. Also, I also have Antonio Gibson on my fantasy team, so I'm hoping we're both right on those calls there.
There you go.
But yeah, I do like Washington in this spot. It feels like it could be like a little bit of a trap game just because they've been so hot lately. What are they? Four straight or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're due for some regression, so it might be smarter to tease them maybe.
Absolutely.
And not because what are they? 4.5.
3.5, 3.5 point favorites.
Yeah, you might want to tease them with like a 6.5 or something and make them a field goal dog, just to play safe. But they are at home. There's not much of a home field advantage there though, in terms of
and Atlanta has been like one of those teams that is. I wouldn't say they're Jekyll and Hyde. They're just scrappy. Like exactly. They stick around. You don't pull away from them very easily, and they make the game ugly. And I could see this going the same way. So yeah, I like teasing this, where if we add them to our teaser and we're given 5 or 6 points, now all of a sudden you're looking at the Commanders plus 2.5 or plus 3.5 instead of minus 3.5. So I like that much.
I think that might be so that we might have to add that then. Keep that in mind with the Panthers later on.
Yeah. So now the team that is on the rise and heading
to the Super Bowl.
Vance says he expects a spoil in that game. Okay. I see. I don't hate that, Vance. I kind of feel that way too. That like you could see the Falcons actually pull that off.
I could too. That's why I'm like, but if they do, I feel like it'll be a 3-point game. Like I think we might still be safe in that teaser range if they do.
Absolutely.
Just because of the way both of those teams play.
Right.
The Falcons aren't going to run away from the Commanders.
So staying in the NFC South with the Falcons, now we move to the Buccaneers, and they are going to Cleveland to play there. And Cleveland's been scrappy in the dog pound. This isn't a primetime game, so it's not quite like the setup that we had a few weeks ago with Cincinnati going over there in prime time, and also
here's
that
the thing.
hated
That was
rivalry.
that was like their only real dominant showing of the season. You know,
Yeah.
like we look at that and we're like, oh well, we saw what they did, and maybe that defense is legit, and blah blah blah.
Right.
But like, no, it was a one-time wonder. So yeah, I mean, we're both on the Bucks here. We did that in the early line show. So when we're done here, check that out also because we got more analysis on these games in that episode also. But what are you thinking, player props wise? Nick Chubb anytime touchdown? Is that a lock, even though they're playing against this defense?
Yeah, it's one of those like Nick Chubb anytime touchdown is an every time play. It at plus 100 is wild to me because like that is just not normal. They don't do that. They don't do that for Nick Chubb. Like, when's the last time they gave us plus 100 money on Nick Chubb anytime touchdown? It's been a minute. So yeah, I mean, this is going to be a tough game for Cleveland against that run defense. I will say this though, with Leonard Fournette out of the lineup. And it's kind of sad too because like Leonard Fournette and Nick Chubb in the SEC, they would go head to head. They were challenging each other for the rushing title and everything. But the plus 100 is great odds, Vance. You're right. I think there's a decent opportunity that when it's all on essentially Rachaad White's shoulders today for Tampa Bay, that you could actually see Brady have to do a little more in the passing game. You could see a couple of 3-and-outs more than you would normally, and that'll give Cleveland a little bit more opportunity to kind of stick to the ground game. And they're going to feed Nick Chubb, so if they can get inside the red zone, he's going to get looks in there. I know they like to bring Kareem Hunt in and kind of steal him from Nick Chubb, but I mean the dude is he's a monster, and he can bring one in from 20 yards out too. So
yeah, I mean they use Kareem Hunt in the red zone, they do, but when they get on the goal line, they don't care if the defense knows what they're doing because it's going to work anyway. When they're in like the 5 to 15-yard line range, that's when they like to utilize Kareem Hunt a lot. Yeah, when they go goal line, they want to get Nick Chubb. They put Nick Chubb in.
If they're on the 1 or 2, if they're on the 1 or 2, it's Nick Chubb. Yeah,
because it makes sense to use Kareem Hunt if they're a little bit deeper out in the red zone because then you have the dual threat option. Yep. But if you look at it, he really hasn't scored a lot of touchdowns. He has 3 rushing touchdowns, Kareem Hunt. And let me check the receiving.
No, I'm not saying Kareem Hunt scores them. I'm just saying they bring him in and steal opportunities from Nick Chubb. So like,
right.
Could get 10 carries inside the 10-yard line, he'll only get like 5, and Kareem Hunt will be in there on the field. Nick Chubb will be on the sideline. They won't even run the ball. They'll just throw the ball to Amari Cooper. And Kareem Hunt is a decoy, but it's like, damn it, why isn't Chubb on the field? So that's what I'm talking about. Is more so like taking his opportunities away because every chance that he has where he's on the field inside the 10-yard line is a huge chance for this number to hit. So, but I like it. I like that Chubb TD as well. So Tom says he needs that Chubb TD. Okay. I like it though. Like at plus 100. I mean, what was it? Minus 150 last week?
Probably. It's like minus 150 every week.
150 every week. Like this is crazy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm low-key going to put this in, and that makes me think we might actually have some really good money on it. See, this isn't even that good. Plus 500. That's okay for 2 touchdowns. Now I'm probably just going to go with that plus 100. If I put it in a parlay or anything like that, I'm just going to go with the anytime on him.
Should I unleash one of these parlays on everybody? I think we.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Wait enough.
So before we do that, let me take this minute just to mention our sponsor. Our sponsor is Master Focus by the one and only our good friend Hotep Jesus, sponsor of the show. So I already did this morning. So this is the red pill that you get from Master Focus. This stuff is all natural. It's concentration, memory, and like blood flow, all that good stuff. You know how that is. But this stuff is not like your typical pharmaceutical nonsense where it's all a bunch of synthetic BS. This is all like natural herbs and stuff. So anyway, shout out to our very own in-house sponsor, Hotep Jesus's Master Focus.
I got mine on the way.
had to get that in there. Yeah, mine came in yesterday. Y'all late, but get your stuff while you can. It's a great Christmas present for yourself.
Use this to make good sports bets and
That's right.
go up 47 units in 5 weeks on your
That's
channel.
right. That's right. Exactly. Perfect. All right. So
Just
let's
Tell Hotep just crop it in right there. I got him with the ad
that's
read.
right. There you go. There you go.
I won't
All
charge
right.
that much. Don't worry, bro.
so
right, so let's
let's
unleash
go
it.
ahead and bring your
Now, this is obviously
prop
there's
up.
5 touchdown scores here. There's 5 running backs. This isn't one that you go throw $100 at, $50. This is
Yeah, man.
well, I mean, it depends what you bet. If you're $100 unit better, maybe you throw 50. But what I'm getting at is I'm throwing a half unit on this. I'm taking a shot here in the dark a little bit, but not really, because we got Nick Chubb. We just talked about why that's a good idea. Kenyon Drake was the one that I hinted at earlier when we talked about the Ravens. I just don't see. I mean, if it's not Mark Andrews or Lamar Jackson, it's going to be Kenyon Drake, unless it's Gus Edwards. But I think they give Gus Edwards kind of a light load just coming back off the injury if he does play. And then Deontay Foreman, somebody's got to score in that Broncos-Carolina Panthers game, right? I mean, every time we say that, there ends up being no score, but somebody's got to score in that game. And
you would think someone's got to score.
I like Deontay Foreman. If they're able to move the ball even a little bit, I think he might punch one in. We're getting good odds on it. Jeffrey Wilson, Raheem Mostert is out. This might become a game where the Dolphins are blowing the Texans out and they're running the ball a lot, and Jeff Wilson breaks one or gets one by the goal line, or maybe he gets one of the first touchdowns that pops off the blowout. Either way, we'll take it. And then Austin Eckler in the Chargers-Cardinals game. Obviously, this is a guy that can do it in the pass game or the run game. He's good for a touchdown almost every week, as long as it's not the first 3 weeks of the season where he didn't get any. But I mean, it's plus.
Listen, no,
you might even get plus 2,000
my
right now.
My friend, pull your screen away because I am showing you right here that the gambling gods have shined down on us, and they have said, "No, sir, we are going to give you even more money." Let me make sure I don't have something else in here that is not part of this. No, so we got plus 100 on Nick Chubb, plus 200 on Kenyon Drake, plus 130 on Dante Foreman, minus 190 on Jeff Wilson. That's a little bit better than the minus 210 you had. And then Austin Eckler at minus 210. So we got some serious
Drake jump. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It's because Gus Edwards got bumped up to active probably.
Yeah. So we are at plus 3,009.
I'll take that though either way.
we got an extra plus 1,000 out of those bumps. So
I should have waited
all day, baby. So $1 wins
Damn,
you
I'm
$30.
pissed now. I should have waited.
$10 will win you 300. I'm going to the window with this one. Let's go. This is a chance for us to just blow the doors off with 30 units right out the gate.
What's the number there?
Plus 3,009.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, yes, indeed. And I might even round robin that one.
Yeah, I might even round robin that one. At plus 3,009, I might even say just do a quarter unit, save the money, fuck it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, that jumped a lot. Well, Kenyon Drake did it. That's what it was.
Yeah,
that was plus 120 to plus 200. But yeah, so that's one of the little touchdown parlays. That's one of the ones that I'm just taking a little bit more of a risk on. It's a 5-legger touchdown, so obviously you're taking some risks there, man. Don't what I mean? It is what it is. But we got 47 units to run through before we start worrying about any of that. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to lose all our money and give it all back. We got about 7 units before we start tightening it up.
Start tightening the belt up. Well, you've already talked about it though. We have already tightened the belt a little bit.
That's true.
Because
we're not just
some of the
throwing out 50 straights in a weekend.
Because they've been cold. Only because they've been cold. They'll get hot again, and when they get hot again, we'll be right back at it. But
that's right. So
Tom's locking that one in. Let's get it. Tom, don't put 500 on it, please. I don't want you hitting me up later saying you're down and out.
It's crazy. Like so we've been talking about like the dog catcher model and stuff, and I'll get this stuff. And I shout out to Big Mike Rader because I send it to him every week, and he'll tell me, he's like, I don't know about this one. I'm going to play this one for sure, and he'll drop a couple of units here and there and everything, and then you will hit me up with like, no man, I play all those. I play them all because I want to make sure I catch the winners, and even if I have to eat a couple of losers, it's worth it because it's all plus money, so you end up
profitable,
making profit if you hit them all.
Yep.
So I think that's but what we always advise is, like John Ryan says, bet with your head, not over it. Don't go all in on something because you feel like it's such a lock that you got to go nutso on it. So yeah, and especially on a plus 3,009 parlay, do not go drop 500 bones on that. Drop $5 and see if you can win 60.
Listen, it's been working so far. We're up 47 units in the last 5 weeks since we've been officially tracking it.
Mm-hmm.
You show me. I mean, yes, there's probably people that are doing better than that, but it's a short list. I think I would like to think.
Yeah, for sure.
If I did my research. Hey, Chad, real quick, you want to live update real quick?
Yeah.
We just hit that 1K mark.
Oh yeah. All right, let's go.
Yep. Shout out to I'm sure Wasted Talent was throwing us some bones on his stream this morning too.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
shout out to Wasted Talent. Shout out Raider Nation.
Shout out
if
Raider
you're joining
Nation.
us now.
That's right.
You're not gonna like what I have to say when we get to the 4:00 game because I am on the Seahawks here. But stick around, man. I promise. I've been on the Raiders all season long. You guys have been doing me dirty, so I'm flipping the script. I'm hoping maybe I'm the jinx, and then maybe you guys get.
Right.
You know what I mean? We'll see. But
yeah.
Shout out Raider Nation. Yeah, appreciate you guys coming on over here and hitting that subscribe button. We appreciate you. We're gonna cash out and win some money the rest of the season here and into NBA, college basketball, all that, obviously.
Right. Yeah, we'll get into that one soon enough. But right now, we're going to go over to Nashville, where the Cincinnati Bengals go into Tennessee for a rematch of that big playoff game where the Bengals went in, and that's where they kind of really lit the flame for their Super Bowl run. Evan McPherson getting it done, and Ryan Tannehill trying to throw the game away. Are we going to see a repeat of that? Tannehill, they're starting to open the offense back up a little bit, where it's not just the Derrick Henry show all the time. They almost beat Kansas City with Malik Willis at quarterback. How good is this Tennessee team? Is Cincinnati back? Jamar Chase is going to be back soon, and we're starting to see some other weapons materialize. What do you see here? Do you like anything? Do you like maybe a Tyler Boyd or a T. Higgins in this game? Do you like Derrick Henry still? What are we looking at?
Yeah, I mean, all those names I still like. Obviously those are all good ones. But real quick, Calvin's gonna let you know real quick who he likes. In the Bengals game here.
Let's go. We got another guest. See, look, we got
Calvin's our resident Bengals fan here. So
there we go. Let's go. Let's go. So, Joe Burrow for the win. Let's go.
So here's the issue, though, right? It might be a little bit of a revenge game. Remember what you guys did to them in the playoffs last year before you guys went to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
I think the Titans might be a little mad about that.
Yeah, and we don't got Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
He just ruled out yesterday.
Yeah, they're not playing him, right? They should not play him, though. That's probably good for them. But they've been doing good without him.
Yeah.
But you think they're going to win today, or we got the Titans today?
I think the Titans are going to pull out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
This is what we do here, though. We're not biased here. You know what I mean? We're giving good, accurate takes. No, but do you really think so?
Yes.
Don't let me talk you out of it just because I said the revenge part.
No. I do think the Titans are going to win, but I have a lot of faith in Joe Burrow.
I got you. Yeah, well, so Chad went to LSU. So he's he lives right by campus still. So he's a huge Joe Burrow guy. So he was happy to hear that you're a Bengals fan rooting for Joe Burrow there. Right. But what player do you think is going to score a touchdown on either side? Who's your number one?
Jermaine, our running back, our backup running back.
I like that too. Yeah, keep that circled up because we're definitely going to go back to that. I like him with Joe Mixon out.
Yeah, and
he can catch the ball and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'll give you a reason why that I was already actually thinking that because they the Titans, they're really bad at defending the pass.
Yeah,
but they get a lot of pressure on the quarterback. So
didn't
they sack him? How many times did they sack him in the playoff game?
9.
Like 9 times. Yeah.
And the Bengals still won without that. So it didn't even matter. But they won because he was able to dump it off to the running backs and make quick passes. So he did. We're on the money here. That's a great take. What do you think the score is going to be? Because I asked Hunter too. So if we're going to see if you guys all get it right or get it close.
I think it's going to be 24-28.
24-28 Titans win.
Okay.
So we got 24-28 Titans win. And then Hunter said that the Commanders are going to beat the Falcons 27-20.
27-20. Yeah,
we'll see. And then we're going to have Summer, and her score is going to be ridiculous, probably, right? Yeah.
These kids love the overs, man. They love the overs.
Yeah, that would hit the over too.
They're both going.
Who doesn't? I mean, do we really just want to watch a Jets versus Patriots game again?
right?
You know?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to
Nobody
watch
wants
that,
to see
right?
that.
Until the last 15 seconds. It would have
Yeah.
got fun.
Oh my god.
You got anything else to say for the people
Not really.
about your Bengals?
Nope.
No faith today?
Not really. Without Jamar Chase, and they're a playoff team right now, and they were last year, so not really.
Yeah, I got you.
Mm.
Well, I mean, they kind of need this game, so I hope they come
Yeah.
out and play well. But
Yeah, they do.
they've been very good. They're like, I think they're 8 straight weeks covering their spread number.
Yeah.
So they're killing right now. They're hot, but
Yeah. And
that's
their
all. That always
division
means when you get to the top, there's only one
Yeah.
way to go.
down.
So maybe the Bengals get the win today.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll be
Yeah.
watching. Appreciate you, buddy. Bye.
Little regression for the mean talk there with the little man. All right, so I dig it. So I was on some IJP Ryan before
too.
we had this discussion. Now it's not as sexy as it was last week when Mixon was healthy and you could have crushed overs for P Ryan because the numbers were a lot lower, but it's still not incredible. Like plus
Do we have
105.
receiving props up for him?
Yeah, 30.5 is his number. I've got the over 74.5 total rushing and receiving. Again, similar to the Gibson point that I made, where it's like, I'm looking at both. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think that maybe the better play is just go for the receiving yards and just don't trust that they're going to give him the rock enough times in the run game to eclipse that number, because it's I think it's 40 or so.
Well, not even just giving him that rock enough times, but the Titans, their run defense that's where it's at. They're number 2 in the league right now.
That's what I'm saying. The efficiency is not going to be there, so it's going to have to be volume. And I just
the Bengals
the
O
volume's
line
gonna be
isn't
there.
great either.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to be trying to run up the middle and just stuff him. They definitely don't want their other running back getting hurt with a concussion or something, running them up the middle a million times like they do with Joe Mixon constantly. Granted, it works against some teams, but I don't think it's going to work against this Titans team. I think it's going to be an air-out game. So maybe you look at Joe Burrow passing yards. Maybe you look at passing attempts for Joe Burrow, especially with getting under pressure and having to throw the ball away. That's the only reason I would say maybe don't go with completions, but go with attempts instead, depending on what numbers you're getting. What's P. Rod's
36.5 attempts? I think that's doable. The yardage is 278.5. I think that's a little high for me.
It is.
I think he could hit that number and eclipse it, but I just don't know how ugly this game is going to get, because they're playing in Nashville, and you know how Tennessee is. They can have Derrick Henry chew up 11 minutes by himself, and you just might not have enough opportunities. But I think the attempts could be there. I just don't know. But that's their one vulnerability, though, is their secondary. So like,
right, and they're shaking up right now too. They haven't been playing They haven't been playing well all season, even when they aren't banged up. So yeah, no, I love the passing game here for the Bengals. We'll circle back and throw some of those into some of the parlays and things like that. But what else? One more thing I was gonna say. Oh, they got Samaje Perine receptions number. I in the show yesterday, for anybody who tuned into that and is here waiting for this answer, I did hint at Samaje Perine, but we didn't have any props yet because Jamar Chase was still up in the air at the moment. So now we got the receiving props. 4.5 catches. I knew they might set it a little high. I was hoping we got 3.5 for like minus 110 or plus 100.
It's
4.5 is a lot.
It's 3.5 right now on FanDuel.
But it's
166.
So the thing is, if we're gonna play that 3.5 to get 4 catches, we're gonna put that in a parlay and juice it up with some other stuff. If we're playing it straight, we're going for the 4.5 at plus 143 on Caesars. Should I do it, Jed? Should I back that? That's a nice one. Plus 143 for 5 catches. He can definitely get it.
Plus 143 where?
Caesars.
Yeah, I mean, plus 143 is great. Like compared to one fewer reception and it's minus 166. Are you crazy? Like, no, to me that seems like a no brainer.
All right, guys, we're locking it in.
If that's where you were looking.
I was already looking. I was waiting on the prop. You know what I mean? I was hoping that we could get 3.5 not too juiced up, because obviously I would have liked that a little bit better. But I don't hate the 4.5. I think he can definitely hit it. So let's do it. That's locked in. Let's do it. Some other straight. I already had that in mind anyway. I was just waiting on the number. So
yeah. So I can't show you guys that one on the screen because it's not on FanDuel. But if you got Caesars and you can go there and get that, go smash that one, because we were already on that wave, and it's a good play. I like that play a lot. So
Yeah, no, I'm with that all the way. Anything else in that game that you got?
no, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't know how to call that. I mean, the Bengals could easily pull that off. The Titans could easily pull that off. It's a it's a nice matchup. I think they're and it's priced well by the books, right under that 3 mark. You know, I don't know how to call it there.
Yeah, word. All right, so what's up, Jay? All
What up, Bart Dog? What up, Jay?
Yeah, shout out to all the people who came over from Raider Nation Unlimited with Wasted Talent. We appreciate y'all coming over and helping us get over the hump to 1,000. Very, very much appreciated. And we are ready to make y'all some money if y'all are ready to stick around and listen to what we got. AG has some plays lined up. And we are moving on to the Texans versus the Dolphins now. And this is when we talked about that, like, we think this could be something where they open up, the Dolphins open things up, and they may just boat race the Texans in this game. So that 14-point spread, you know, that's still kind of high. I hate laying any kind of points like that in a game like this, but I'll be damned if I don't think it's possible for them to win this by 4 touchdowns or more.
Look, if you take the dog on spreads this big every single time you see him in the NFL, you will be profitable.
Mm-hmm.
You will win money
on the money lines. Yeah.
No, if you take the dog on the spreads.
Oh, on the spreads. Oh, yeah.
On the spreads this big, they're going to cover more times than they don't.
Yeah.
But we had a teaser. We actually had 2 teasers that were perfect last week that both died by the sword of the Houston Texans.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm staying away from taking them in this, but I definitely am not taking the Dolphins. You guys have never seen me take a spread this big on the favorite ever. I think the more likely scenario is the Texans to cover this 14, but ain't no way I'm taking that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Not again. Texans burned me once. Fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice. What did Bush say?
Yeah, he said you can't get fooled again.
Exactly. So
oh shoot,
I didn't especially by a Texas team there. That was perfect.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't have the screen pulled up there, but yeah, exactly right. So I feel like the touchdowns, just before I even look at them, I feel like they're going to be juiced up. That's why I like the fact that you threw Jeff Wilson in that parlay, because now this minus 190 doesn't have to kill you as a straight. You just get to throw it in, sneak it into that parlay where you're getting really good, close to even money on all of them.
Yeah, I do want to say, man, I'm telling you, man, the smart money is on the Texans to cover that 14. But they could get the breaks. They could get the brakes beat off of them. So yeah, I don't know. I'm staying away. I'm staying out of that. And I'm cautious to take passing game overs for the Dolphins. Obviously, that's where I want to go. But I'm cautious to take any numbers that are too high. So maybe we'll tone them down and add them to some parlays, because there's just no way I'm trusting that they're going to be passing the ball the whole game. If the Texans don't move the ball at all and they only have 3 points and the Dolphins are up 21-3, they're going to run the ball with Jeff Wilson.
So let's look at the Jeff Wilson just to see. Do we have an attempts number? No, we do not. All right, so all we got is rushing yards, and 83.5 is just. I mean, it's like, man, I don't know if dude goes for 100. You know, like that's a lot to pay for. I believe, you know, especially with Mostert out, I believe he's going to get a heavy workload today, and I think that if they get out to an early lead, like we talked about, they hit a couple of early bombs, and Tua has them up big early, then it could easily become the Jeff Wilson show for the third and fourth quarter. But I just don't know, like 83.5 yards, like he could still end up with 80 and you're still in trouble. So I'm staying away from that unless it's part of a parlay. And if it is, then I'm good with just teasing that down. Let's look at some of these alts here. So if you're going to throw him into a parlay, I kind of like this, you know, like 60 yards. I know it's minus 390, but again, as part of a parlay, you're okay because you add that with a few other things, you stack it up, and your bar is pretty low. And that's as you've watched us progress, as we've kind of gone through this. And I appreciate everybody who's been here with us and kind of watched as this show has progressed, and we've grown, and we've kind of figured some things out. a lot of this stuff was, when you do this stuff and you're not doing it as part of a show, where you're actually putting all your thoughts out there for the public to see it, it's easy to just kind of like get lost in like making plays every weekend, and you're not really doing the analysis on like the retrospective on like, okay, here's where I screwed up, here's where I got it right, and looking to try to make sure that you systematize that in a good way. What I like that AG has done is he continues to go back and see like, okay, where did I make a mistake? Where did I get something right? And we've kind of honed in on, okay, the best way to do this is with some of these parlays. Instead of every now and then you can take one of these where it's like $1 to try to win 1,000 or something like that. But generally speaking, the better play is take a bunch of these minus 300 something, odds and parlay them together where they're really easy to hit. The bar is really low.
Well, I wouldn't say a bunch though either. I wouldn't advise a bunch, just because it's always you take 8 minus 390s and you get gypped on a minus 390. You're going to be pissed.
Right?
But,
not 8 of them. Maybe a bunch but a few. 3 or 4, maybe 5. Do a 4 or 5 leg parlay with something like that where you've got, okay, now it's a bunch of 25 to 60 yard plays on guys that should be in the 75 to 125 range, and I don't need them to hit those high numbers, but now I've got 4 or 5 of them, and that parlay is plus 700. That's where we found out that the some of the best money is, and that's why I like that. Like I said, the touchdown play that you have there is great with where you got Jeff Wilson included in there, because I don't like that as a straight, but I like it as part of the parlay.
It's a 5-legger, so it's tough, but don't worry, we got a couple smaller ones that are gonna hit. For sure coming up. So
all right, so
that's one of the riskier ones, moneymaker if it hits. So especially with the odds going up. No, I don't really got nothing else in this. The Dameon Pierce train is kind of slowing down. I mean, this is a good spot for it to come back, but I don't know if I trust it. I need to see it consistently. The Texans are trotting out a new quarterback out there, so they might feed Dameon Pierce a lot. I just don't know how much success he's going to have. I'm good on talking about that game. I think probably Jalen Waddle will be involved in a parlay with yards, but tone it down a little bit just in case they have the choice of not passing the ball for the whole second half, which is definitely a possibility in that game.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, I kind of feel the same way. I'm staying away from this now. It may be worth putting in our teaser, but I still don't like, even if I tease this down to like -8, I still don't like it.
If anything, I might tease it up on the Texans. Take them on 21 or 20 or something.
2021, yeah, something like that.
But no, I don't think we need to force them in there. If we're struggling to find another teasy, then maybe, but we don't need to. You could just scroll right past this game if you want.
So if you wanted a great quarterback showdown, you want to watch the Bears against the Jets. Oh my gosh, bro, what happened?
Is Justin Fields playing?
He's
out for sure. Okay.
I can't see him playing.
They shouldn't play him, but it's the Bears, so I don't put anything past him.
They said he's day-to-day, but he could be out for the season. What?
Well, because he wants to play.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's like he's
day-to-day, but he's hurt, and he admitted
day-to-day or month-to-month, one of the two. Like, what? What are you talking about?
Well, that's because I mean they're just basically deciding if they're going to tank and shut him down. Yeah, that's pretty much what they're deciding. He's listed doubtful officially, but I doubt he plays, man. If they play him another time this season without him being 100% healthy, it's pretty stupid. It's stupid. They're in prime position to get a really good draft pick and get him a really good wide receiver, possibly.
It's a shame.
You got to go with that.
He was really starting to play well, and I think they had some real opportunity to like build with him.
Well, is it a shame though? Like, well, it's a shame, yes, but
to let him develop, yeah. Like I think it would have been really valuable for him to have that last 5, 6, 7 weeks of development with that core and kind of figure some things out. I don't think it's helpful at all to have him on the shelf. But yeah,
I agree.
Putting him in bubble wrap for the rest of the year, it's definitely not worth it at this point.
It's not worth the risk of in bubble. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I was gonna basically say. But you shut him down, man. They were losing games while finding out that he's a good quarterback. Remember I said that like a week or two ago.
Right.
I was like, it's the exact opposite of the Giants. It was the perfect scenario. But now he's banged up, and it's like if you play him, man, that's just foolish because you get a season-ending injury or an injury Like right now, it seems like he doesn't need nice hit.
Yeah,
Right now, it
I had to
doesn't seem
kill
like
him.
he needs surgery or anything. Obviously,
Yeah.
if he's still potentially playing today, but if he doesn't need surgery right now, shut him down until he's healthy. Because if he needs
Mhm.
surgery by week 17, now you don't have the entire offseason to develop.
Right.
And if he didn't get hurt now, and he got hurt in week 17, and something like that did happen, this is why I said, is it
Yeah.
really a shame?
Maybe
Like,
a
yeah, it's a shame,
blessing in
but
disguise.
there
Yeah.
is a potential for some
Yeah.
blessing in disguise there. Now if you shut him down right now, you're guaranteed, well, almost guaranteed to have him throughout the entire offseason with some new weapons and let him develop that way. You don't want him to not be able to develop during the offseason.
Right.
And they're losing games. They were losing games, finding out he's a good player. They're going to
Right.
lose games now if he's not in because he was the entire offense.
Right.
Like I mean, the Jets are probably a good teaser option here with Mike White in instead of Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Tease it down a little bit, but
yeah, it's crazy, but like because the Jets
you
are
could pretty
still
much tease them down to money line.
Yeah, exactly. Just about. All right, so let's get into this one because we got Wasted Talent in here. Shout out to Wasted Talent and the entirety of Raider Nation for coming on over and joining the chat, joining the show, and helping us get over 1,000.
Yes, sir. We just did
appreciate
our
the
little
love.
right before you jumped in. I guess you weren't here a couple minutes ago, but we just gave you the shout out and some love for getting us over the hump there. So we appreciate you. We appreciate you guys, Raider Nation. But I got the Seahawks in this one. I'm sorry, guys.
Listen,
I'm sorry, guys. It's just a good spot for the
I hate to
Seahawks
say it too,
coming
but
off a bye and everything. And
I will say this: I think there's some really good potential for some explosion in this game. Like I think this could be a really good game. But yeah, I think this is one of a handful of late afternoon games that I think the 12th man in Seattle is it's going to be too much. This Seattle team just continues to somehow somewhat fly under the radar because if this were a different team playing the way that they are playing, putting up the numbers that they're putting up and beating teams that the schedule that they have beat and some of the games that they have won and the way that they have won them, this would not be a 4-point spread. But here we are. It's Seattle playing at home and they're basically just giving them the home field advantage. And that's about it. So I don't know how the Raiders continue to respond. But you got to give them credit. They pulled that one out last week in overtime, got it done. It was a wild way to end that game. Shout out to Foster Moreau, another LSU Tiger, who's getting it done for the Raiders. But I like the Seahawks and I like a lot of Kenneth Walker today. What you got?
Funny you mentioned both of those guys because I got some on both of those guys. But
let's go.
Just about the game. Like, I mean, yeah, the Raiders pulled it off in overtime against the Broncos last week. But it took that late field goal and then some overtime. They won the game. I don't want to take credit away from that. But the Seahawks are coming off a bye, off a letdown game in Germany against the Bucks. But they were the hottest team in football right before that. I feel like this is just like a get back on track home game here. Second straight road game for the Raiders, I believe, right? They were in Denver last week.
Yeah, they were in Mile High last week.
Yeah, so it just doesn't seem like a good spot for the Raiders after getting that win. And when you think about it, I don't want to. I'm not hating on you guys. I'm just assessing it here. But I mean, they have 3 wins, and it's against the Broncos and the Texans. So it doesn't impress me too much. The Seahawks have a lot more to play for and a lot more to fight for. I know Wasted Talent just did a stream talking about, getting back to relevancy and everything. But I don't think this is the week where that happens. It's just such a good spot for the Seahawks. Now, could they be looking ahead or anything? I don't know who they play next week. The Raiders, are they looking at the Raiders and thinking this is going to be an easy one and they go out there and get beat? There's potential for that for sure.
Yeah, I tend to doubt that.
Oh, they got the Rams next week, and then the Panthers after that. They're not worried about anything but the Raiders.
Pete Carroll is good enough.
That's true. He's a really good coach.
That's not something I would expect. I think this is a really good spot for Seattle, and I do think that the Raiders keep it close. So I don't know about this spread. I like Seattle straight up. So I would probably look at them as a potential add to this teaser that we're talking about. But I don't like this spread because I think that the Raiders could keep this close and it could be one of those field goal at the horn or maybe even overtime again. I mean, how many overtime games have the Raiders played this year? Like 4 or something. It's crazy. So I think this has potential to be a shootout and to be pretty high scoring. So what do you have? Or are we gonna kick that back to later because it's part of parlays with this Foster Moreau?
Well, no, I got Kenneth Walker. I think Kenneth Walker has a really big game here. I got him for 100+ yards. So go check what the number is. It was plus 250, plus 225 yesterday, but go check what it is now for me. But the reason I like him, you can definitely ladder this too instead of just taking it straight up. If you want to opt for that route, I'm just going to take it straight up. I trust in Ken Walker, and I trust that the Seahawks are going to try to keep feeding him and get him the ball after a letdown spot a couple weeks ago against the Bucks, who are a really good run defense.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders are 20th in rushing yards allowed per game, 16th in yards per carry allowed, and the Seahawks are 5th in yards per rush. But the thing is about those Raiders numbers is I feel like they're probably a lot worse than they are. They've played a couple teams that don't like to run the ball or can't really run the ball. The Chargers, the Cardinals, the Broncos twice, the Chiefs. Broncos, Cardinals, and Chargers are all in the bottom 20 in terms of running the ball. Chiefs are 17th. So those are teams that just don't want to run the ball. So I'm not expecting any of their running backs to have a big game against the Raiders, and that might have juiced up the Raiders number to 20th in rushing yards allowed per game instead of like 25th where they maybe should be. The stud running backs that have played the Raiders this season, Derrick Henry had 85 yards, Damian Pierce had 92 yards, ETN had 109 yards, Jonathan Taylor had 147 a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Walker's only hit 102 games, but you got to remember he was only the starter and getting the bulk of the carries for 5 games now.
Last 4 or 5 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, so he's due for another big game after a light workload. Like I said, he had 10 carries for 17 yards versus the Bucks. They had to get out of the run game. They didn't really necessarily want to, but it just wasn't working at all. And he's coming off a bye week. Now, the thing is, he got put in when Rashad Penny went down. So he ended up being the guy, and he had those 3 monster games in a row where he just took the league by storm and was just absolutely killing, going off. But the first 5 weeks of the season, he wasn't getting that many touches. The past couple weeks, it wasn't the same with Kenneth Walker. Like there was that letdown game against the Giants, and then he had another explosion, and then the letdown game against the Bucks. I feel like his legs might have been getting a little tired there. Now he's coming off a bye, fresh legs against a bad defense that can't tackle. I love Kenneth Walker in this spot.
Playing at home too. That's another big key too. Playing at home. Yeah. So I dig it. Now I don't know. I looked at the 2 touchdowns thing because I was going to try to see if we could swing for the fences on that one too. But it's low, man. It's only like plus 320. Yeah, so that makes a 100 yards and 2 touchdowns only plus 656. Which is just like, no, that's not worth it for me. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going there. Now, what I would like to see though is, all right, what if I do that 100 yards and then I have Kenneth Walker and Josh Jacobs each to have a touchdown, and then I go after the Jacobs rushing yards, and then maybe I can tease the rushing yards down, but I don't know. So see, so they got Jacobs anytime touchdown, but we don't have rushing yards prop available, and we don't have any totals props available either. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Not sure why they haven't released that, but check back with that later on in the day as we get later. Cause that was one that I was looking at. I think both of these teams could run the ball effectively on one another. And it could, as much as I like it to be a shootout, I think you could actually see some effective running game stuff going on for both teams in this one as well.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like the Raiders are going to be able to get stuff on the Seahawks defense too. Especially in the passing game, I think, too, also. I think they'll have success with Devontae Adams, Derek Carr, Foster Moreau, like you mentioned. So here, I'll throw out this touchdown while we're here because I really love this one. Check out these odds, Chad. It's because Foster Moreau's in there.
Okay. Yeah, so
but it's only 3 legs.
Yeah, let's drop Foster Moreau. All right, let me see if we're still in the same boat because we have
Terry McLaurin
and D-Hop. Okay. All right, let's see where.
So we talked about Terry McLaurin and why we like him in this game. I like him to get a touchdown, get in the end zone there. Foster Moreau is obviously the flyer on this ticket where, we're going to be waiting on that or, hoping that hits all day. So Terry McLaurin get it done for us in the 1:00 games, and then we sweat out these last couple games. But
Right.
the best part is at plus 370, if Terry McLaurin doesn't get it done, I'm doubling down and running back Foster Moreau and DeAndre Hopkins, and it's still going to be good odds with Moreau for the 4:00 game. So we shall see. We'll wait on that, and I'll update you guys on Twitter. Make sure you follow me. The link's in the description box there.
It's dropped a tad. We're down to 26.67, but this is still a good play.
Oh, good.
It's still good money. Yeah.
Now I love Foster Moreau because against Seahawks, they have not been good against tight ends. They are actually in fantasy terms, they're allowing the second most points to tight ends. Now, obviously, this isn't fantasy, but what gets you fantasy points at the tight end position? Bunch of touchdowns, bunch of targets, bunch of catches, bunch of volume. So volume has been working against the Seahawks, and we know Derek Carr loves to find Foster Moreau, big body in the red zone. He loved doing it with any tight ends that are big bodied. He loved doing it with Darren Carr or Darren Waller until they started.
Shout out to wasted talent. I'm going to say it. He's got a thick frame. All right, so I will just pause, but we got to. That's a Raider Nation exclusive there. Foster Moreau's got a thick frame, and Derek Carr likes a thick frame. So I got to say it for wasted.
Listen, I don't know what Derek Carr likes, but I know he likes throwing touchdowns to his tight ends when they're not beefing, at least. So I love Foster Moreau in this spot. He cashed for us 2 weeks ago, hoping we do that again this week. And then DeAndre Hopkins, we'll get into that in a sec when we play this next game. But Kyler Murray should be back. Even without Kyler Murray back, Hopkins is the guy we go to on that offense. And he's due for a touchdown. He had a touchdown in I think 2 of his first 3 games. He hasn't had one since. He's due for another one this season. So.
All right, so you got anything else in this game? It's tough to really call anything on this one because we don't have all the props available yet.
They're actually
Oakland.
I got another player props parlay here that I'll let that out in a second though, because there might be some other stuff that we talk about in a sec.
Yeah, no doubt. All right,
but there is two plays from that game in it. So
okay. Fair enough. All right, so let's move on to this one. Is this our last late game?
No, we got a couple. There's four 4:00 games today.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. We got Chiefs Rams, and then and this one here. All right, so
and we got the Saints too. I think Saints 9.
You already got Nuke. Oh yeah, that's right. That's at the top of my list here because it's the Saints are one of the teams that I follow. Obviously, being here in Louisiana. So what you got here? I know we've already touched on Austin Eckler. We've already touched on Nuke. What else we got? You seen anything else you like here?
Not really. I mean, Chargers offense is just. Obviously you can go to Keenan Allen. He looks healthy. But there's always that chance. Like what happened to everybody who bet Mike Williams last week. So that sucks because obviously they were going to go to him. Obviously they want to go to Mike Williams. They went to him first drive, first set of downs, and he caught it, got the yards, got hurt. So I don't really want to trust Keenan Allen in a parlay or anything because I don't want an injury leg to be the one that kills me. Obviously, it can happen with any of these in the NFL. But what I'm getting at is the Chargers are so unpredictable. The Cardinals look terrible. They might be probably one of the worst rosters to inherit if you were a new coach or owner or something like that. Yeah. They're in the same boat as the Raiders, just not enough cash to fire the coach or whatever. And so I'm not taking anything on that side in terms of them covering this here. The Chargers they're 5-5 with all the injuries. They've been playing well through the injuries for what we can expect from a team that doesn't have any of their weapons the whole season.
They just have more depth, though.
They have a lot of depth.
More, like Arizona, that's what I was going to say. Like Arizona, when Bruce Arians was there, they put a lot of eggs in that basket where they were trying to make that run for the Super Bowl, and they spent a lot of money on some aging defensive veterans and some guys on the offensive side of the ball. And now that train is off the rails, and you see the outgrowth of that. The only thing that I really like in that is Nuke Hopkins, because everybody else is either old or hurt. So
yeah. So I'm I don't know, man. I don't know what to say here. I feel like the Chargers should cover. Will they? I don't know. They like to win a lot of games by 3 points or lose by 3 points. That's just how the Chargers operate. Do I trust Staley to not mess the game up at the end when they have a chance to win and then end up losing it? there's too many variables for me to go heavy on this game. I do like Nuke touchdown. I do like Austin Eckler touchdown. Those are the safest bets that you can make in this game, I feel like.
Yeah, and when we say safe, we don't, it's still it's kind of tough. You're at -110 and plus 105 on Nuke is not bad. I'm a little skittish about James Conner for a touchdown. That -150 scares me away enough to just say no, it's not worth it. It could be a blowout for the Chargers, Jay, but who have the Chargers blown out this year? Like that's to AG's point. Like the Chargers have shown an uncanny ability of making the game close no matter who they're playing. So it's appreciate you, Big Mike Raider. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro. Shout out Big Mike Raider.
And,
we'll be back. We didn't get it with all the holidays and everything. We didn't have a chance, but Big Mike Raider will be back on the channel next week to talk about the Raiders and some other games. Yeah, shout out to Yatu Sabes. So he has an interesting take here. Did you read that one, Chad? Random, since it's rating, all cat teams and bird teams except the Ravens will lose. Yatu Sabes.
So he's going after your heart there, Victor. Yeah, you trying to kiss up to AG because he's a Ravens fan.
I mean, why just the Ravens? I'm just curious. But hey, look, I'll make a parlay, and if the odds are good enough, I'll tell you on that just in case.
Yeah, I might actually take a swing on that.
I don't know what we're operating off of there, but I mean, I'm with it. I trust you.
I'm only using a free bet for that one though.
Right.
I'm not putting my own money behind that. Oh shoot!
Yeah, no,
it's got to be a cheap free bet too. Like,
let's get off this game. This game's ugly. I don't know what else to say about it.
I think it is. I think it's disgusting, and I don't like anybody in it. Let me see.
I'd like to say I love the Chargers. Like I would love to back the Chargers. They're one of my favorite teams in terms of like just who I want to be successful and who I like watching and everything. But
one more thing though before we do get off of it, I just want to look at one thing real quick because Nuke. So the touchdown thing is one thing, but I like one thing's for sure. Like whoever is at quarterback, and it looks like it's going to be. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be. Kyler Murray, he's healthy and he's supposed to give it a go. So I'm not going to touch Kyler Murray either over or under, but Nuke Hopkins at over 7.5 receptions at plus 108 intrigues me. I really like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's possibly one of the things that you could add to one of these parlays that gives you a chance to give yourself a good opportunity to win, but it actually boosts the odds well to give you more bang for your buck on one of those parlays.
So here's the thing on that point is like, I totally agree. I like to, when it's an NFL Sunday and we have so many games on the slate, I feel like it's just smarter to leave the same guy out of two parlays. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah, just put him in one and not in another.
Something, if something happens where they're double teaming the whole game and he gets 3 touches, both parlays die in that case. Like I try my best to
diversify as much
operate
as
in
you
that
can.
way.
Right,
but that isn't a bad call. Like if you want to build a parlay of your own that you're thinking of Nuke Hopkins for catches, for sure. I'm personally probably not going to do that just because I already have him for a touchdown. I try my best to differentiate it.
Yeah, I got you. All right,
but Yatsubas came back. He's got a good idea. Cats and birds don't do well in the rain.
Okay.
Ravens do well in the rain. I'm gonna build that real quick. See what we get. Go ahead.
All right, so Rams Chiefs. So real quick, so that Chargers game, I do have actually the model has Arizona winning that game, and that includes some games with Kyler Murray either not 100% or completely out the last few weeks, and so. The dog catcher has identified a tight Arizona win. So it's got a couple of those. It's got that Carolina that it's only suggesting a pick 'em win that leans to the Panthers in that game against Denver, and then it leans Cardinals over the Chargers in this one. And again, if you're not familiar, this is a model that when the dog catcher identifies a dog, the underdog is 11-9 straight up so far this year,
which is profitable. Doesn't sound great, but it's underdogs we're talking.
And 12-7-1 against the spread. So that against the spread number. So what it's telling you is don't bet the spread on these because typically if they beat the spread, they win the game. Like it's one of those where like if it says like this team's going to win, they're going to win, and that's the route that you go with because it's profitable. Like you said, when you're giving up, and I would even say like I'm going to stay away from it in that Carolina game just because unless it's part of that teaser like we talked about. But this Chargers line is big enough that you're going to get good plus money. Let me pull back real quick so I can see what that number actually is because I think it's like plus 140, plus 128. Okay, so plus 128. So you bet that one, and then the other one that I've got is Pittsburgh over Indianapolis on Monday night. That's one that it's the dog catcher has identified. So you look at those two, and because they're both decent spreads, you hit one of them and you're profitable right off the bat. So you can just go 50-50 and you're good. This game, however, this is going to be disgusting. I don't know how bad the Chiefs are going to beat the Rams in this game, but 15.5 might not be enough. It's going to get ugly. I don't know what the Rams are playing for anymore. They kind of put all their chips in the middle of the table for that Super Bowl win. They got it. Props to them. But now the whole team's hurt, and they don't have any more weapons, and they don't have a quarterback. So, what are we doing here?
Essentially what Chad's getting at is they sold their soul for a Super Bowl ring, and they have no picks, no players, nothing to do going forward. Yeah. And it looks really bad for the Rams' future. But they got that ring a lot quicker. They have a more recent ring than 31 other teams. So I guess we can't really talk that much shit. But I'm looking at Kyron Williams, man. I'm taking a flyer in this game, and that's it. I don't want to take the Chiefs passing game because obviously the blowout potential. Do I want to take the Rams on this, or do I want to take the Chiefs on this spread? I just told you guys I ain't taking a spread this big. Now, you take the Texans plus 14 and the Rams plus 14 as straights, you probably go 50-50, but now you're eating juice. So, listen, I'm just saying over time, you take the dog in that situation, you're going to be profitable. I don't know if this week, these two games are a good example of that, though. So I'm advising against playing either side in that case. But I'm looking at Kyron Williams to score a touchdown here. I mean, we can look at other props for him too, but I'm going to play that as a straight. I'm just taking a chance. We got great odds on it. What is it now? Plus
420.
Oh, wow. It was plus 350 last night. So we're getting plus 420 now, even better. So we'll take that to the bank. Look, they don't want Cam Akers to be the guy. That's clear. You know what I mean? I'm surprised he wasn't traded. I'm surprised he's even on the roster playing today, right?
Yeah.
But they just released Darrell Henderson. It's Cam Akers and Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams got more snaps last week than Cam Akers. Now, when they get down to the goal line, do they want to give the ball to Cam Akers and see if he can get a touchdown? They kind of already know he can get touchdowns in the goal line. They kind of already know that they're not bringing him back next year. You get down close to scoring range, I want to see what I got in this young back, Kyron Williams. Yeah. And he can get involved in the pass game too. So a little screen from 15 yards out that he takes to the house, things like that. It's like a Samaje Perine type of game I see. Because, look, the Chiefs are going to get a little bit of pressure on that old line. And no Matt Stafford in there, like a new quarterback. He's going to be dumping it off. I'm thinking Kyron Williams gets the ball a good amount and hopefully catches this on a touchdown for us. Obviously, I'm taking a flyer here, man. This isn't – I'm not – telling you guys that this is one of my best picks. I just have like some kind of feeling that he's going to hit this for us.
Yeah. So, so what do you think about Bryce Perkins?
My grader said it sounds like the Raiders.
Yeah, I know. I was about to respond to that. It does. The Rams and the Lakers. Shout out to the Los Angeles teams selling their souls for rings. I hope it was worth it because it's going to be a long.
They're too close to Hollywood or something. I don't know what's going on over there.
So Bryce Perkins.
Sabas has Pacheco and Akers.
Yeah, I know. I kind of like the case you made for Kyron Williams.
I hope it's Kyron Williams. But I'm really just throwing it out there. Like, if you like Akers, don't let me talk you out of that because that could definitely hit too.
To that point, though, if you whichever way you wanted to play it, though, right? So you got, Akers at plus 370, Kyron Williams at plus 420. Whichever way you want to go with this, if you go with the Pacheco play, which I think like more and more he's starting to just solidify himself as the guy, especially in those kind of situations, goal line situations. Kyron Williams, Isaiah Pacheco is plus 933 for that parlay. If they both do, why did I take Pacheco out? And then if you do Cam Akers instead, it's plus 836. So you're still getting like 9.5
not
to
bad
1
either way.
or 8.5 to 1 odds. Yeah. So it's good stuff there. I will say this. I wish we had some rushing props for
Ooh.
Bryce Perkins because I like Bryce Perkins rushing yards today. And well, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Ooh.
Yeah. I feel
Victor,
you.
that's a really good point, man. I didn't even consider that. That's a really good point. But are they going to be able to trade him in the offseason, or are they just going to let him go? That's
Mhm.
what we have to consider.
Yeah.
Does
Probably-
anybody is
Probably
anybody
cut worthy, honestly.
Yeah, because even if he this is a really good point. This is a really good thing to think about. But I kind of feel like
No,
I don't know. I feel
think
like
no. Here's
even
what
if
it
he
is.
gets 3 touchdowns today, I don't know if
Right,
anybody's
it's
trading
not
for
going
him
to
in the
change.
offseason.
It's not changing. Yeah,
That's what I'm
these
kinda
are rational NFL owners who they're not going to be like, oh wow, look, he got 7 extra carries and he got 31 yards on those 7 carries. Now I'm going to give you a second round pick for him. Like, no, that's I don't see that happening. I think
It's a really
actually,
good point to bring up, though.
yeah, I think if anything, you want to limit his use so you don't. If you are going to try to trade him, then you don't damage the goods. But I really don't know what kind of trade value he really has anyway. What are you looking at? Like getting a 6th round pick instead of a 7th round pick or something like that? It's Cam
Yeah.
Akers. He's not a
I
game
think he's just
breaker.
gonna get cut or something like
Yeah,
that.
I think he just gets cut. He's a
But
cap
while
casualty.
we're talking to Victor real quick though, I ran your little cats and dogs parlay or cats
Oh
and
yeah, what
birds
does it look
parlay.
like?
Dude, we're getting plus 620 on that. $5
What?
wins you 336.
Let's go. All right, I'm doing it. I'm gonna hit that one too.
It's the Ravens, and I see why he had to sneak the Ravens in there because the Ravens are playing a cat. So that's
Okay.
why he snuck the Ravens in there. So we got Ravens money line, Broncos money line, Commanders money line, Raiders money line, Chargers money line, and Packers money line is plus 620. So yeah.
All right, so I'm just throwing this out there.
That's a good point too, Victor. He said you can always run the player you don't want and save your rookie. That's true too, but I mean, I feel like it's a little bit different in the fact that because he's saying what the Steelers did with Claypool. It's a little bit different in the fact that like the Steelers went and got George Pickens. Like they know what they have in George Pickens. The Rams don't know what they have in Kyron Williams. That's like more of that wasn't like a locked
That was
draft
a flyer,
pick.
yeah.
That wasn't a lock-in draft pick. Like George Pickens, they knew like they're getting one of the best receivers
right
that this class has to offer. Yeah, so dude, you're bringing up some really good points. I'm giving pushback for the conversation because these are really good thoughts. And you might be right. I mean, the game's gonna let us know who's right in this if Cam Akers gets the touchdown or Kyron Williams. So we'll circle back on this next time we talk. But I like your points, man. You're bringing up good points.
While we're on the subject, while we're still in this game, so Kyron Williams to score a touchdown and Pacheco to score 2 is plus 3470. I'm just throwing that out there.
I ain't taking a Chiefs player to score 2. They facilitate the rock too much. If it's
They
not
do.
Kelsey, I'm not taking 2.
They spread it around too much. Yeah, and Kelsey. Well, and the thing is too, Kelsey just scored 3, so he's probably not scoring any for a few weeks. See, the last time he scored 4, he went like 7 weeks without scoring.
Yeah. One thing I will do though, here, look, because now Victor's scaring me over here. So we go a half unit on Kyron Williams for a touchdown, and then the other half on Cam Akers and Pacheco in the parlay that you built.
Okay, wait. So what was that? Say again?
I don't know.
Oh, so the parlays. Yeah, I mean that's fine. Yeah, because it's plus 8. So, but then you're basically saying, all right, if Pacheco doesn't score, now you're screwed. Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because you could actually hit both of them. You could actually hit both of them instead of doing a full unit or a full half unit on one or the other. You just split it. Yeah,
I just like those odds there. So Pacheco and Akers half unit is what? Plus 8 something.
Yeah, Pacheco Akers is 836. Yeah, plus 836. And then
I'll take that, and then I'll just take Kyron by himself.
Kyron Williams. Oh, and just Kyron Williams by himself without.
Yeah, I'm not riding on Pacheco for both. I mean, Kyron Williams by himself is already plus 430.
Yeah, 420.
So plus 420. So yeah, no, I mean, because I do like, I like Pacheco too. He's in this other parlay already too.
All right, so this was mine. So I know you were going that route. This is mine. I got Sky Moore at 20.5 yards for his over and a touchdown. plus 430 on the touchdown and minus 110 obviously on the yards. But that's so if he gets 21 yards and a touchdown, we're at plus 544 for that
You
one.
taking that?
Yeah.
What was it? 21 yards
Yeah, 21 yards and a touch.
at
So
plus what?
it's just you're playing the roulette wheel of which Chiefs players are going to score, and we talked about this a few weeks back where
What was it? Plus 5 something?
plus 544. I
Right.
didn't take the Mecole Hardman play, and he scored not only did he scored the first touchdown. I was like, son of a.
You
I
were on
didn't
that.
take
You
it.
just didn't
I
take it.
called it and I didn't take it. So I'm taking that one today. That's all I got for that game.
Yeah, well, I got Pacheco. I was already looking at Pacheco, so I'll unleash this on the people here. Like I said, with the Raiders and Seahawks game, I think the Raiders are going to be able to have success. Devontae Adams on fire. They're going to keep going to him. Nobody on the Seahawks can stop him. Nobody, if nobody on the Broncos could stop him, nobody on the Seahawks defense could stop him. We got Devontae Adams for 70 receiving yards. We got Geno Smith for 225 because I do think he'll air it out as well. He's been doing it all season, and we teased this number down a little bit for him. Donovan Peoples-Jones to get 50 yards at plus money. At plus money, he's had 50 yards in each of the last 6 weeks. He's averaging 78. We hit on his bet last week. Too easy. Shout out to Pine AI Sports because they're the ones throwing some of this information my way, and I'm just taking it and running with it and hitting bets. So I appreciate them. They gave me a little, discount code to get in, and so I'm using their systeming here, and it's been working so far. Donovan Peoples-Jones is one of the hottest ones on their system because he just keeps hitting their props, and they keep setting his disrespectful props at 39.5 or 44.5.
There you go.
And he's hitting 70 yards every time. So I juiced it up. In this case, I'm like, hey, let's get plus money at 50. Why not?
All right.
And I talked about why I think Marcus Mariota, the Falcons might have to pass. I don't know if they're going to have a ton of success doing it, but he can hit 162 yards doing it for sure. And then Isaiah Pacheco in the run game. 50 yards, not asking for a whole lot. I could have put it up more. You could put it up more if you want to, but I'm going with 50. Take it easy. We don't need that much more on this. It's already plus 1040 with the 50 yards, so don't got to go too crazy there.
All right, and you had it was Geno Smith 225.
I wish Mariota's number wasn't so low because I would have teased it at 150, but it's under the where they let you tease it anyway on FanDuel. So there was no working with me on that one. But I do like it there at that number. So.
Yeah, this 5-legger is up to plus 11.05 right now.
11.05 now. So
yeah,
even better.
You can get even better money on it than that. So yeah, I dig it. All right.
It's another half unit play, by the way.
Yeah.
For
what else you got? If anything.
In this game, no, nothing.
No, I just mean in general. What do you have? I'm sure you got some other plays up your sleeve.
Oh well, we could get let's get the last game out the way.
Oh, that's right. My bad. I forgot about the Saints again. So easy to forget about them. This has been a forgetful year.
This is one I feel like the Saints covered this. No way the 49ers can stay that hot, right? It was the Cardinals. But the Cardinals did beat the Saints. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
But that was the Cardinals beat the Saints with Kyler Murray. So.
I don't think I'm playing much in this game besides maybe Christian McCaffrey receiving yards toned down in a parlay. We can start building if you want to now, unless you got any thoughts on this game. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick while you talk through this game, and I'll jump right back.
Yeah, I'm going to start building a parlay here. I will look at.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. I will look at Christian McCaffrey. That over 38.5 receiving yards. So this is the play that I had kind of in mind, and I'll kind of blow AG's mind with this one when he comes back. So, McCaffrey is due for one of these every now and then. I'm probably throwing a tiny bit of cheddar at this one. I might throw $5 at this. We're looking at $65 if he hits three touches. I'm probably throwing away $5, but I don't know. I just feel like this is so. Here's my wackadoodle conspiracy theory with this. Christian McCaffrey has had some days against the Saints in his career with Carolina. He's coming back to play against the Saints, but this time playing in his new home in San Francisco. And it's a much better offense, a much better just franchise in general. And I think that there's still some kind of, I don't know, I don't want to call it bad blood, but he's got that little rivalry. Now you could maybe say the Saints know how to handle him, but they have proven that they don't. And I think he's probably got some stuff where he's talking to the coach. He's like, look, this is what we did in Carolina. I got this, we get in the red zone, get it to me here, get it to me this way. There's going to be some stuff where I'm just throwing a little shot out there at Christian McCaffrey, 3+ touchdowns. I may ladder it where I just go, hit each of these. I'm probably going to stay away from the single touchdown, but the 2 and the 3, I like Christian McCaffrey to get one of those. And I like that 3 touchdown play just as a wild card out there. AG, what do you think? Am I crazy?
What do you got?
C-Mac, 3 touchdowns.
Whew. Yeah, a little bit.
He's playing against the Saints. He's familiar. He's played with the Saints. He's played against the Saints a lot in his career with Carolina.
A little bit crazy.
He has had some days, and he's due for one of those. Like, he gets one of those every year where he just like goes off. And I think this is the day.
That's true.
This is the day where he goes off. And so
they share the ball with Elijah Mitchell a little bit too much for me to go 3.
All right.
I don't hate 2, but you asked if you're a little crazy, and I got to answer yes on that.
Yeah.
For 3. I'm not saying it's not going to hit, but you're a little crazy. But crazy is good sometimes.
So Christian McCaffrey to get 40 yards and 3 touchdowns, 40 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns is plus 2505. Actually, this is one where I'm not going to be stupid. I'm going to do what I told myself that was a smarter play, and I'm going to go with his total of 98.5. So 98.5. Do we have an alt total? No, they only have okay. Yeah. Oh, you can't combine those. This sucks so bad. Why can't you combine this? Why can't this be? You can't SGP the totals with the touchdowns. So never mind. All right, so I'm going for the receiving prop. I'm going totals? For total rushing and receiving.
Oh yeah, you could on other books you can, not on the
not on FanDuel. Yeah. So 25.05, so 40 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns is plus 25.05. That's actually not as good odds as I would have expected. I would have hoped for much better than that, but it is what it is. That's just one I was throwing out there, a little play. Yes, I'm crazy. That's what we're here for. We're here for crazy. All right, so let's start building our big parlay, because this is the nitty-gritty part of the show.
Yeah,
that's where we really have fun.
So I started with C-Mac while we were on him for look, I'm going to tone it down. We're going to be modest here on these, and we're looking at C-Mac for 25 receiving yards. That's it. That's all we need.
All right.
We don't need to go crazy. I mean, look, you want to go crazy? Put him for 40. He'll probably hit it. He's at his line is set 38.5. So I'm toning it down, keeping it simple, stupid.
All right.
Let's see. Longest reception. My bad. I'm building as I'm talking. But the next one I'm going is Rachaad White for over 3.5 catches at plus 144. This is beautiful to add to the parlay. This will help the little juice that we just ate on Christian McCaffrey. Absolutely. With the 25. Plus 144 for 4 catches. He's been getting 3 with Leonard Fournette in the system. So I like that.
It's receptions, right? Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. All right, next.
And then we got Samaje Perine, 25 receiving yards. We're going with our running backs that we already keyed out in the passing game.
Okay.
And adding Christian McCaffrey. We didn't talk about that too much, but we don't really need to. Everybody knows already.
And it's Perine for 25?
Yep. Keeping it easy. And we're getting plus 404 on that. Okay. Nice and easy. So, I love that. 1, 2.
Yeah, I like it. And this is what I was talking about. This is and I know I said a bunch earlier. I misspoke, but this is what I'm talking about. Where you get 3 of them, you tone them way down, and that way you've got it, to where it's some easy hurdles to clear. The only one that may be a little bit difficult in that is the Rachaad White over 3.5 receptions, but I still think they're underplaying. The
thing is with the Bucs,
without Fournette in the lineup.
Without Fournette in the lineup and the Bucs O-line struggling still,
Mhm.
Brady needs to get the ball off quick. You've been seeing Chris Godwin's been having 6-7 catches.
Right,
That's
right.
because he's like a short distance receiver. He's hitting
Yeah.
slant routes and quick
Yep.
little flat stuff. Rashad White's going to be the same difference. Leonard Fournette was stealing some catches before, and Rashad White was still getting 3, and Leonard Fournette was
Mhm.
getting catches by himself. Last time we took a Rashad White receptions prop, it cashed for us. We're going back to the well,
Let's go.
putting it together. Yeah, I'm gonna put I got a unit on that plus 404. So we hopefully win 4 units on that hit right there.
Yes,
That'll
sir.
take care of the rest.
All right. So, do we have any more player prop parlays, or are we ready to start our teaser?
Well, we definitely gotta the way it's been going, Chad. We gotta throw down a 2 touchdown parlay.
Okay.
We have
All right.
to, right?
Yeah.
There's like no choice at this point.
Yeah. All right.
Let's do 2 again with a quarter unit each.
All right.
Give ourselves
Yeah,
2 chances again. We were real close on that Najee
staying away
Harris,
from-
Latavius Murray one.
All right. So,
There's a couple games that might not have 2 touchdowns in it.
what about this one here? Deontay Foreman.
No, that's one of the
No?
games I was thinking might not have 2 touchdowns.
Oh, might
I
not
just
have 2
don't-
touchdowns. Period.
I don't trust them to drive the ball twice down to the
Yeah.
bar. Like on that
Yeah.
that one play where I have Foreman for a touchdown, like I'm banking
Yeah.
on them giving him the ball the one time they get
The
close
one
enough
time
to
they
score.
get in. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right. So,
Sabas likes a Brian Robinson and Patterson touchdown.
yeah.
I don't hate
so,
that play.
yeah.
That's solid, but I don't know how much success they're going to have in the run game, the Falcons.
And
So
we're looking for 2
we'll
touchdown
see.
guys.
But I like it though.
So,
All reliable.
Chubb? Is that all reliable?
No,
Or we
Derrick
going
Henry too, but
Derrick Henry? Yeah, I don't know, man.
all reliables together. Is this not the day for a 2 touchdown parlay? Maybe not.
Yeah,
Nothing jumps out at me. Let's just
Well,
save
so
it.
the
We don't
thing
need
is,
to do it.
here's the thing, though. Here's the
Mark
thing.
Andrews?
If you look at it, what has it been in the last like 4 or 5 weeks? Ever since we
Been
hit
the
that
guys
big,
you're not expecting.
it's been people. Yeah, it's like it's Samaje Perine or Jamal Williams or something like that. Like I'm searching for who's that guy. Jeff
Antonio
Wilson,
Gibson.
maybe? Antonio Gibson, Jeff Wilson. Like,
Ooh, let's do that one.
all right.
I don't hate that.
What I'm wondering though is Antonio Gibson the guy though with B Rob there, like you know what I'm saying? Like, are we making it to where now
Well,
we're
that's
hoping
the
for
thing.
4
That-
touchdown opportunities in the red zone? And
I thought that's what we were going with, though. I thought we were going with the guy who's not the guy.
yeah. But what I'm saying is I'm looking. It's no. So like what I'm talking about is it's not always Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
It's more. Oh, so I actually like Mark Andrews. That's actually a good one.
Let's do it.
There's nobody else. There are no other weapons there. So let's look at Mark Andrews. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's not that like it has to be some obscure guy. It's just that like it's not the guy who people would have pegged as a 2 touchdown guy.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And so Jeff Wilson,
His number's low, real low. It's not
Is it?
even worth the 2. It might hit, but it's not even worth the 2.
Oh,
Waddle?
230. Gee whiz, that's insane. Yeah, so that's he doesn't qualify then. It's got to be something that's a little more.
Mike Evans?
Mike Evans is interesting. We
He's
haven't
new.
done receivers. And that's actually let's do it. Let's throw that mud at the wall. Why not?
We're gonna
Mike
build 2 of
Evans,
these,
I'll
so
say
that's
50.
for one of them.
This one is insane though compared to what we've done before. So $5 to win 375. Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
He's
plus
hit,
7,500.
he's got Hill and Waddle with 2 TDs each.
I think he's throwing out
Victor
ideas
Kill,
for
bro.
us.
Kill,
I think he's
Victor
throwing
Kill.
ideas out for us. Well, I mean, that would be something.
Yeah.
It can happen in this game. It really
So,
can if you think about it. This is the
Andrews and
game
Evans.
for that to happen.
Yeah, Andrews and Evans. I like that.
Yeah, let's lock that.
Yeah. All right.
Quarter unit for the
yeah.
record, for the official record there.
Right. And then where are we going for our second one?
Good question.
I would want to say K-Walk, but
I want to stay out of that. I think they might throw it into the end zone a couple times.
mhm.
Also,
So I mean, I know
Hold
we talked about Pacheco already. Plus 550. Is that good enough money to go to that well, or are we just like
I
staying away
don't
from
want to
that because
bank
we
on
we do
the
so
Chiefs.
well?
I don't want to bank on anybody on the Chiefs besides Kelsey getting more than
I'm
one.
with you.
Just they give the ball to everybody. You know what I mean? Well, let's go to C-Mac. You already were liking C-Mac with 3. Let's
Okay.
take him for 2. Let's be modest and take him for 2. Plus
Yeah.
330. Not horrible, but we could start there. And then we got to find a sleeper to juice this up. Should we go with Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill, one of them, or
Are we? Yeah, we're not on the Dolphins yet for this, so we could. Man, I got lost. I was daydreaming there for a second. I was just staring at the screen and completely not even seeing this. So yeah, if we go Miami, so which one of them are we going with?
I would go Waddle personally.
That's a tough call. Yeah, that's.
Well, I want to. I that's just me. If you want to go Hill, you might not be wrong either.
Yeah, Hill's 420, Waddle is 700. So
let's go for the juice, right?
Plus 3340 for Waddle, and we're at plus 2136. So it's a huge jump to go from Hill to Waddle. And AJ Brown 2 touches. That's not a bad play. That might be one that we save up for if we hit.
Yeah, and we throw some on that.
We
throw
for the something night game. Tonight. Yeah, tonight, or maybe like a backup, like AJ Brown and what's his face, Taylor. Like something like that, or maybe Najee Harris. Maybe go back to the Najee Harris well. Go with the Pennsylvania connection. AJ Brown and Najee Harris. The Pittsburgh Philadelphia connection.
Yeah. No, I like AJ Brown thoughts. But yeah, we'll save that for the nightcap in case if we need it. Yeah, I'm willing to do this. Jalen Waddle, Christian McCaffrey with the other quarter.
C-Mac.
See what happens. We're throwing shit at the wall right now, but it's this is the fun part where we're just having a little bit of fun, throwing a couple quarter units.
Right. Yeah. So there you go. $5.
We've built up the funds to be allowed to do this and mess around and have some fun.
Right. Well, the thing is, when you're throwing a quarter unit and you're winning back, I don't know, 12 units or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's 12. I think that's right. I think plus 3340, a quarter unit gets you 12. Anyway, something like that. Shit, I don't know. I need to take more. Back to our sponsor. I'm gonna have to. So it says I have to wait. I gotta. The best results are after a couple of weeks of pounding the rock with this stuff. So we got to keep going to the well. But get your master focus. Shout out Hotep Jesus for our loan sponsorship on the show here. Master focus, get it done. All natural, all Hotep. Let's get it.
Hell yeah!
But yeah, so that's.
You want about that teaser?
Yeah, let's hit that teaser real quick, and then we'll jet, and hopefully we can find a nice play here. What did we do? We hit our teaser except for the stupid ass Jets.
No, it's the Texans, bro.
Oh no, the Texans. That's right. No, the Jets part did hit.
We both hit our teasers.
Yeah, we hit our teasers except for the Texans.
And we had different ones, and we both hit ours except the Texans.
Except the Texans. That's right.
We should have never put both the Texans in both. That was the issue.
Did you see?
We fucked
did you
up
see
there.
that dude in the contest that he had that parlay and everything hit, and then he had Washington State winning last night as his
I didn't
last
see
leg
that.
of his parlay. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. They lost by like 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. It was crazy.
Yeah. It was close too. They were in it.
Yeah, they were. All right, so the Jets thing went back live again, so it's a 7-point spread now.
Well, let's start at the Panthers because that's what we had for sure. The Panthers are a teaser leg right there for sure.
Yeah,
Panthers, and then what else did we said maybe tease the Commanders to
Commanders
3-point dogs.
Yeah.
I want to stay away from those next 2 games.
Yeah, same.
In terms of a teaser.
Uh-huh.
We could look at the overs too, we could look at these overs too.
Yeah, true. So
Jets
here, yeah, I think so.
They'll be able to drive. The Bears won't be able to drive.
Seahawks, they gotta be in there.
I don't know, man. Victor's scaring me with this cats and dogs stuff, man. I don't know. Well, we'll be teasing them to a dog, right?
Yeah, how you gonna say a Seahawk is not friendly to the damn water? Like they live and breathe in that stuff. Like,
Well, I just went with the birds. I just yeah, I don't know. I guess I could have considered that. I didn't.
but what did you
consider
say
that at
about
all.
not putting everything in one part in multiple parlays? Like we gotta diversify our portfolio here. Okay.
Well, that's why I'm saying I don't know. Oh, well, you're saying because we threw down that other play. Okay, I got you.
Right. If you're gonna throw down the
Right.
cats and dogs play, this one's got to be something different.
All right,
I
I'll
don't
ride
like.
it. I'll ride it.
I'm not. I'm not. What do you think about putting the Cardinals in this thing? I don't like it.
No, I would go
but
Saints
the
over the
Chargers-
Cardinals. I would
the
go
Chargers
Saints
have been
juiced up.
playing close. I don't know, man. I don't like the Saints. Like I live here. Like it's.
Go Cardinals then. Because I do agree. It's not like the Chargers are blowing
The
anybody
Saints
out.
and the 49ers have a history. Like the Saints and the 49ers, when Joe Montana was there and Steve Young was there, like they were in the same division for a long time. And like the 49ers just owned the Saints. So I'm just, there's some history there. And like I go back to a couple of years ago, the Saints were like in the playoffs and they let George Kittle just like single-handedly put them out of the playoffs. So it doesn't go well there. So I'm looking Cardinals because we've talked about like all those close games for the Chiefs for the Chargers this year.
No,
let's pull it up.
I do agree with that. They're not
Let's pull
blowing
it up real
anybody
quick.
out. So.
Yeah, let's pull it up real quick and see. So they won by 5, they lost by 3. Now they did lose 38-10 to the
Victor,
Jaguars.
I tried that for like 7 straight weeks, man. It didn't work, bro. I tried.
So
I tried to give all my love I could.
So they won by 10, they won by 2, they won by 3, they lost by 14 to the Seahawks. Then they won by 3, lost by 6, and lost by 3. So yeah, they are when there's a big spread, it's them losing. So yeah, I'm liking adding Arizona to this teaser, especially because Arizona I think is getting healthier, and the Chargers continue to, even though they've got some guys coming back, they're still not 100%, and I think they're still going to be struggling. And that's so. Is that it? We want to just go with 5.
Yeah, I don't want to go more than 5 for
Okay.
sure. That's
all right. So let's see what are we doing. If we give ourselves 6 points, we're at plus 333. That is
at how many
Carolina.
points?
6 points. So that's Carolina plus 7.5. The Commanders plus 2.5. The Jets minus 1.5. The Seahawks plus 2, and the Cardinals plus 9.
Go one more time.
One more point. Oh, okay. Panthers plus 7.5.
Yep.
Commanders plus 2.5. Jets minus 1.5. Seahawks plus 2. Cardinals plus 9. I'm thinking we add another point or half a point. Add another point. We're still at plus 250.
Yeah, put them at 3. Yeah, so we're at 8 now on the Panthers.
Yeah, so
and
Panthers
3 on the Commanders. That's what. Yeah.
Or you want to just go with a half a point? Okay, so we're at.
Oh, is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah,
that
so
works
if we
too.
just go a half a point, yeah, I mean we potentially push on some of these because we're gonna every one of these the hook gets absorbed, but we got a couple of hooks that get added to it. So so we're at plus 8 for the Panthers, plus 3 for the Commanders, minus 1 for the Jets. So they basically just got to win, and at worst we push on that one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Seattle plus 2.5 and Arizona plus 9.5.
We could go an extra and then get the 3. We get off the hook in the 10 or we would get to 10. Yeah, let's do the other half. What does that bring us to?
It's at plus 250. So,
that's not bad. So then we'll be at 8.5, 3, 3.5.
Yeah, 8.5.
Jets money line.
Jets money line, basically.
Cardinals at 10.
Cardinals at 10 and Seahawks plus 3. Yeah, I like that better.
Let's do that. Yeah, might as well. At plus 250.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
Yeah. So that's our teaser, folks. And again, if you wanna ride the dog catcher has Carolina money line, it has Arizona money line, and it has Pittsburgh money line on these. So, but at least take the plus 3 with Indianapolis, the plus 3.5 with the Chargers, or what is this? Is it still plus 3.5? It's +3. Yeah, so take the 3 with Indianapolis and the Chargers, and then take I guess it's 1.5 now. I would just go money line on the Denver Carolina game if you're going to bet it. But I'm kind. Oh no, it is. Yeah, so it's at 1.5. Yeah, you're pretty much just take the money line. You're not really helping yourself that much.
Yeah. I'll throw a unit on that teaser. So we're risking 8 units in total today. Make sure you're following me on Twitter and checking in throughout the day, because if any of these are looking sour, I'll risk a couple more for the 4:00 games and the night game. So,
Right.
but if we're looking good, then I'm just gonna take what we get, take our winnings. Yo, you want to do the let's do the Eagles real quick before we get out of here. We got like 6 minutes and then we'll get out of here real quick. Let me
why is this thing not? That's weird.
Let me get my my resident Eagles fan in the house so she can tell us that she thinks the Eagles are going to win.
Okay.
I'm guessing, I
Right.
assume.
Yeah, she's been waiting around. She hung around for a couple of them, and then she jetted. But AG's got he's with family, so he's got the cousins chiming in on Thanksgiving weekend here. We appreciate all y'all for joining us, and we hope you're out there ready to make some moolah on this. But
yeah, you want to know something I did while we're waiting for it to come up? So I did a little look ahead parlay that I kind of like, and I got plus 1527 odds on it. I got the Ravens money line next week against the Broncos, the Packers money line next week against the Bears, the Dolphins money line next week against the 49ers, the Seahawks money line next week against the Rams, and the Chiefs money line next week against the Bengals. Some of these I'm getting a little bit of a better spot than I will depending on what happens today. I just went ahead and just threw it out there. I'm getting plus 1527 on those, and those are all very doable. It's pretty much just relying on the Dolphins beating the 49ers next week. Everything else is like a lock.
That's very doable.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Summer, hold on. Let me get her audio good for her. All right, Summer, we got the Eagles and the Packers tonight. Who's going to win that game?
Eagles.
Make sure you're in the – Are you sure? Why do you think the Eagles are going to win?
Because they're better.
on what?
Hey, keep it simple.
Sense? What makes them better? They're your team?
Jalen Hurts is.
That's okay. Yeah, that's true. Is he better than Aaron Rodgers, though?
Yes.
Okay. Look, we got a hot take from Summer here. That is a hot take. We like it, though. I mean, hey, this year, we can't really call her wrong this year.
No,
right?
That's right. That's right.
What's the score going to be?
0-1,000.
0-1,000. Lock it in. And that is going to be our moneymaker for the show. That's a great way to end it off.
So we are crushing the over and that -6.5 spread for sure.
And how many touchdowns is Jalen Hurts going to account for in those 1,000 points?
100.
100 of them? All right. So we got some room for someone else to score too.
Yeah. Somebody else has to make up those other 300 points.
Yeah. Somehow. That's great.
I love it. Thank you, Summer.
I love it. Thanks, Summer. Go Eagles.
Oh, this is great stuff. Oh my gosh.
I knew that was going to be a good answer on the score.
Oh man. Oh shoot, that was great. All right, I love it. Folks,
Matthew,
we really appreciate
1,000 easiest over of our life.
Yeah, right. Hey, look, she's shouting out the fact that we just finally eclipsed 1,000 subscribers here on the channel. So shout out to Raider Nation and shout out to all the OG Men of Order guys as well. You've been watching I Got Next from the jump. We love you. We appreciate it, and we are here for you, trying to help you get your bread up. And AG is putting in yeoman's work, grinding every week, trying to bring you the best prop plays that he can. And
it's been working. It's been profitable.
It's work too. I just put the numbers in and let the dog catcher tell me what to tell you.
Tell me what to tell you.
Yeah. So this is.
Hey, in case anybody wasn't here throughout the whole thing, if you're still around now, but missed the beginning or things like that, I'll throw all these parlays up on Twitter real quick. So go follow me there. Links in the description box. I'll throw them up on Twitter so nobody misses out. We appreciate you guys tuning in and everything.
Yeah, for sure. And they're showing right now on Game Day Live, Game Day Morning Live on NFL Network that who's more likely to score two different types of TDs, Alvin Kamara or Christian McCaffrey. So I don't know. This isn't a FanDuel thing. This isn't a promo, but keep your eyes out. Always keep your eyes out for those promos because they love to ruin our day by taking our plays and turning them into offers that they try to sucker people with. So just keep your eye out for that. And if it happens, I just go ahead and cash it out right then because I'm like, yep, you know what? I'm not falling for it.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
I'm not taking the bait. This
Take
is
the
a
cash
loser
out.
already. I'm just gonna cash out.
Eat
now.
a couple dollars and take the cash.
Exactly, because they are ruining you. Oh man. All right. Well, Aaron Rodgers is going to have thumb surgery, so Summer might be right. Jalen Hurts may be better than him, and we know that we are better because all of y'all joined us. So we appreciate y'all for coming out. Peace. Have a great Sunday.
Appreciate you guys.
Go make some money.
Peace.
I hit the wrong button.